All right, guys, big episode. Before we get into it, this is the first time you've ever seen a blank check. I'm on my Happy Gilmore where couldn't win, but then the check started coming in. It's early in the month. I'm going to start winning. Go tail my picks at Steiny's Picks on X. I post daily. NBA is my go-to. That's my favorite one. But guess what? There's NFL, college. There's any sport you want. UFC, women's basketball, tennis. Everything is on there. Go check out PrizePicks. Guess what? If you play one lineup for $5, you get a free 50. Free 50 bucks. Turn it into 38,000 like I have 2 months in a row. And also, if the game already started, don't even worry because they have live squares. Game's on, you can take the player live. That's what I like to do. I'm all day NBA. Go get PrizePicks, tail my picks. Let's go. All right, guys. Things have already gotten a little heated before we started. This was one of my favorite podcasts. We are now doing a part 2. Plus, Bradley Martin is joining us today.
I'm here, baby.
As you guys may remember, I have Dean Withers here.
Howdy, howdy.
And, of course, Emily Saves America. And we are back. We're doing a part 2. There is a lot to talk about. Real quick, I mean, we should all acknowledge the fact that the LA fires are happening. People are losing their homes. There's a lot of, questions on what's going on and, is this only rich people losing their homes? But it's people that have lived here for their entire lives, people with families. Kids are confused, don't know what's going on. Obviously, the government has not done the best job or a good job at all at doing anything about this. There's a link in the description if you want to donate. I've already committed to donating. I'm sure I can get my boy Dean over here to throw a little something. Bradley.
Of course. I literally packed my before I came here.
Yeah.
Because my house is close to the new one.
Okay, so we have Bradley here. You live in Woodland Hills.
Yeah, I live close to what is it called?
You don't have to give your exact location.
No.
There's probably some people out there that don't like
address, but I'm saying the new fire that is right by West Hills, basically. It's called the Kenneth Fire. So I literally packed up just I guess the most valuable that I could.
Yeah.
A lot of it was camera stuff and keepsake shit that's important that you can't really replace.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to think that people's lives are just completely unrooted.
I think that, and I think also just people don't know what to do because you don't know. No one's really helping out. We've seen how the mayor's done. Terrible job. We've seen how Gavin Newsom has done. Not a very good job either. And I think people are just confused. They don't know what to do. My sister drove to Orange County last night at 10 because we had to evacuate where I live. And I was like, okay, well, let's just wait. And she's like, no, I'm going. Couldn't even get a hotel. They're so packed. So there's complete chaos. And
what do you think they should have done
ahead of this?
Yeah.
I think there's multiple things. So I think let me actually pull this up.
Do you think they've done a good job?
No, I don't.
Okay.
And I'll be first to say it. I think that there's a lot of things that go into it. First of all, I mean, there's just nature and how nature's responded to the last 3 years, starting off with 2 incredibly wet years leading up to the last 6 months being incredibly dry. I think that to politicize, an event occurring in nature, to a certain degree is unwarranted. However, I will say at the same time, I don't think that there's been an adequate response from leadership. About Gavin Newsom, I wouldn't say that he's as responsible as more specific leadership within the county. I think that, the county should have been more prepared with more resources to combat all the fires. So who do you think's
ultimate responsibility is it?
I think that the responsibility is going to be distributed within county leadership. I don't know what the structure of county leadership looks like because I'm not from the LA area.
Okay.
But I hate to see, all the people on Twitter, including Trump, being like, oh, this is all Gavin Newsom's fault. Well, it's not. It's not all Gavin Newsom's fault.
I agree. I don't think it's all his fault, but I think as the governor, you take a responsibility of there's low probability, high risk, forest fires like this that they have talked about for a long time.
Yeah, this is not a surprise.
This is something that you need to be prepared for at any time.
Nothing to prepare.
And I think that we see stuff in Florida with hurricanes. It seems like there's always some sort of preparation, evacuate early. They were talking about how there was 17 million cut funding for firefighters.
Yeah, 18 million and 183 million added to the police budget, which is, obviously a whole different conversation. But I think it's hard to say that it's not we can't just go, oh, it's just it's just wildfires and it's natural disasters, because there are steps and there are things that could have been done that aren't being done. For example, I have a personal friend who is a firefighter who literally is not actively working right now, and they could be working in these areas because there's literally not enough equipment or like fire trucks, hoses, and things for firefighters to actually use to fight these fires. So there's actually firefighters who are like sitting at home or waiting to actually be a part and help.
Yeah.
So there is like, when you talk about like, yeah, we can't blame so-and-so or blame these people, there's actually real blame there. Like now to the details of it, there is really as simple as like, if you're underfunding a whole entire, group of working class, like firefighters, and they're not able to hire more, buy more trucks, et cetera, that is going to affect something that is, and historically has already been a problem in California. It's not as if like fires just started happening last month or some shit. So it's just kind of like,
I've seen competing things on the underfunding. So like on one hand, I just, think it's interesting that, Republicans have been screaming at LA leadership to stop taxing them as much and to stop spending as much because they're not spending it efficiently. But then when something, seemingly somewhat unpredictable, okay, I do want to grant some credence to the idea that you can predict these things, especially with the patterns that we've seen.
They literally
in
gave
the environment
warnings
over the
that there
last
was
3
going to be
years.
high winds days in advance.
Santa Ana winds are always
just to kind of finish off with what I was saying.
Let him finish what he's saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then
I have seen like competing reports. So I mean, you'll have some people that tell you that LA cut $17 million from their budget, and then others will tell you that they've actually added $55 million to it.
Okay.
Now, have I had the time to sit down and look through the specifics? No, because I've been on planes all day getting here.
yeah, I misspoke earlier. I said governor of LA, governor of California, obviously. I want to go back to what you just said though, because something that I've seen, there's been, I don't know how familiar you are if you've been watching the clips, but there's clips of people while Gavin Newsom reporters are filming, and they will go up while they're live, and they will question them. And there was one lady that talked about how her fire insurance got cut. I don't know if it was months. Did you see that?
Yeah, my girlfriend's got cut a month ago, and in the Palisades, they cut tons of people 4 months in advance.
So it sounds like the insurance companies know what's going on. So if they know what's going on, it makes you want to believe that Mr. Newsom, the mayor, a lot of other people knew that this was probably going to happen.
I will say, so there's been a pattern. 2 years of a super wet season where brush can grow, then 6 months of complete desert dry. It's just like the perfect environment for these fires to happen. That's why fire insurance started to cut people months back, which, by the way, is completely true. And that's where, like, I actually do think that there is some responsibility on the leadership of the county, of the state. I would say, though, it's like, what should they have done instead? Because, they never stop cutting brush. They continue to cut brush. That's what you need to do. The only thing that I've seen that screams, hey, maybe there's some responsibility here, is maybe we could have expanded upon our infrastructure insofar as having more water ready to combat these situations. While at the same time, the main issue has been the lack of pressure coming out of these hydrants to actually fight these waters. But that has little to do with negligence from the government of the state, and we actually see that all the time. Like, for instance, during the Maui fires, the firefighters there experienced the same issues.
What was that? The fire hydrants didn't have water?
Yeah, they didn't have the pressure for the water because there's so many people at the same time all around the area that are I don't know what the state income tax is in Hawaii.
Okay, well, California is the highest. So you would think, I know I pay a lot, I know Brad pays a lot, Emily, I'm sure you do too. That's a lot of money. Like, there's a lot of money going into this state, going into LA. And the fact that we don't have fire hydrants that have water for a situation like this, I don't understand that.
After we had an excess of so much water that they let go right back into the ocean.
That concept just, I don't understand. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know, you may not be able to answer that, but little things like that don't add up.
I get the concern. We should have better infrastructure for the hydrants in LA to better combat that situation. But it also makes you wonder, is it possible to build the infrastructure?
What kind of infrastructure do you need to have fire hydrants to have water?
Yeah.
No, it's not fire hydrants to have water. It's fire hydrants to have high pressured water. And I don't know what kind of infrastructure would be required for that. Because
Rick Russo literally said there, he was like, there's no water coming out. And he was like, why are we like a third world country? And he was like, what's going on? And if you've seen his property, obviously he's a very smart man and successful for a reason. Somehow everything around his property is burnt to the ground. His property looks like it's in great condition.
Whose property?
Rick Russo.
Okay.
Who also, he ran for mayor
who we all wanted.
All right, guys, really quick, I want to talk to you about Moonpay. Are you in crypto? Are you interested in crypto? Doesn't matter. Crypto's going crazy right now. It's not going anywhere. Moonpay is the best app to use. Makes it really easy to buy and sell multiple different coins. You can use Apple Pay, a credit card, debit card, PayPal, Venmo. I didn't even know you could use Venmo, but on Moonpay, you can use Venmo to buy Bitcoin. They have a 24/7 customer service. So if you're new to this, or you just like to have someone with you during the process, they are there at all times to answer any questions that you have. They make it very simple to buy and sell crypto. We're gonna drop the description in my bio. So go download Moonpay. We're gonna give away $1,000. That's $1,000 in Bitcoin. All you gotta do is download Moonpay and drop your address below. We're gonna select one person to give $1,000 to. Go ahead and refer your friends to Moonpay. It's the easiest app to use. I've used all of them. They make it very simple to hold your crypto. You can also watch Dogecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, all these coins in real time, see their values, and just study the market. Go ahead, download Moonpay, drop the address below. Let's go. By the way, last time I did this, I got a little, actually a lot of love, and they wanted to give me an award because I was such a good moderator.
That's a lie.
That's a complete lie.
And I was so professional. Emily, you look absolutely stunning. I just want to let you know.
Should we? Wait.
You look all right.
Yeah. Did you get the love in the YouTube comment section?
What?
You're saying-
I mean, dude, I'm the top moderator.
Should we pull
this
it up?
is no, we don't got to do that.
No.
The funniest,
Why would we waste time? We have a series.
the funniest thing was the search bar for my name.
Which was what?
Because it was the top one was the second one was the funniest, but the top one was Emily Wilson slavery, and then the second one was Emily Wilson 6-foot-tall black guy Los Angeles, which is the funniest search tag ever.
What is this? What I missed this. I didn't see the clips. What is this whole
Dean-
she believes in slavery
Oh
thing?
yeah. So
Dean
Emily
ran with this.
Please help me
Dean
out.
loves this.
No, I don't love it at all. I hate it. So,
No,
Which is
but I
so
mean
funny 'cause I saw
the
the
content
same-
piece. The content piece you loved.
Oh no. I want to make it
Then
incredibly clear.
why'd you post it if you don't like it?
Yeah, because I want less people to be like you. And exposing
It had
you
nothing
to
to do
millions
with the
of
views
people.
and the money.
Okay, well, I have a question. Why do
Can I
you think
ask
this
you
clip?
one- Oh, go ahead,
I
go
just
ahead.
want to ask you one question.
Yeah.
So why do you think this clip, which by the way I didn't make any money off of, it was under a minute on TikTok. If you don't know, you have to post a video that's over a minute long to
I'm sure there's
capitalize off of
no
its
net
gains.
benefit to it.
So
Okay, wait.
I want to
Dean-
ask you this.
Dean,
I want
you
to.
can't social media
Is it
guy.
okay, guys?
No,
Hold on a
please.
second.
No,
by the way,
I
a
have my
social
fact
media
check
No,
real
wait,
quick.
people.
guys. I'm the head moderator, Brad.
It's
You're
the
second moderator.
creator fund.
Okay, wait. The moderator has something to say.
Can
Dean,
you
really
please
quick.
discuss the
Real
benefit?
quick before you
what
talk
I-
about the money, I'm just gonna say, how many times did you go live and talk about this topic?
About
Several.
Emily?
Yeah,
No live was specifically dedicated to Emily.
but not specifically dedicated to her. But how many times did you talk about her? How much did you talk about the clip? Definitely happened, right?
I nothing in memory.
Okay. The clip,
Is that terrible?
Did the clip drive a lot of traffic to your pages?
So much traffic to my page.
Okay, there
so
we
you
go.
had some monetary.
Well, there
value.
we go,
There-
boy.
We'll just go there.
Okay,
You had some monetary
So I
gain.
want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of detailing this?
Oh,
No,
I'll tell you.
You just said that you
I'll ask you
made
a
no
question.
money off this.
So- to
But I
answer your-
still wanted to ask Emily.
You're
a
gonna go
question.
after her. You can do it anyways. It's fine.
All right, wait, hold on. Dean,
so
save-
this clip of Emily literally supporting slavery did drive traffic to my page, and it's funny that you guys specifically want to persecute that, and compared to the fact that Emily supports slavery.
No, we're not.
Come on.
We're just.
Who's
we're
doing that?
We're fact checking the fact.
We're just
that
making
you said
sure
you didn't
that-
make any money.
Oh well, yeah. The clip it has to be over a minute long.
We're fact-checking
in
that,
Creative
okay.
Fund to make money.
Emily, what is your response to him saying that you supported slavery?
Well, I think it's funny to.
Where did this come from?
It's funny to just make that blanket statement when it's well, first of all, that's how you know you're losing an argument, which
What?
normal people can see, is you have to throw out hypothetical scenarios.
You don't know how to debate.
My response to that, because that question was genuinely so stupid, I'm not going to waste my time answering it. If you're going to ask me if I support slavery, if you even have to ask that, how stupid is that? You had to make a hypothetical situation, which doesn't exist, because you couldn't just go off the basis argument, which we were even talking about, which is a state-by-state issue,
let's slow
which
this down.
abortion is. Then you had to be like, did I say, quote unquote, I support slavery? The answer is no, we don't need to go about that. But
We
you
do.
did it because you wanted the clicks and the views and the money, and that's why you made multiple response videos about it.
So I posted one. Now, second of all, we need to dissect.
So now you
what
know how
just
many you
said.
posted. It was one.
It was. I posted the clip of you saying that you support slavery. It's
How
on my
many views did
TikTok
that
page.
do?
I don't even know. Probably a couple million. But I want to respond to the 2 points that you just made. So first of all, you said that you know you're losing a debate when you have to bring up a hypothetical scenario. So what this tells me about you is that you are literally unable to conceptually think and grasp your own beliefs in a rational, logical manner. The reason why hypotheticals can serve to be quite purposeful in the context of a rational conversation with someone that disagrees with you is because we could use them to test the underlying principles that drive your beliefs. For instance, right, what drove your belief insofar as why you think the issue of abortion should be left up to the state is because you just simply think all issues should be left up to the states. Now, there's two ways that we could go about refuting that position. One way that we could go about refuting that position is showing an internal contradiction with that position and another position that you hold. And the second way to go about showing the absurdity in that position is to give you a hypothetical scenario in which that principle would apply that yields an absurd conclusion. The obvious hypothetical scenario that applies that principle that yields an absurd conclusion would be that one of slavery, right? And when I asked you that question, I was full-heartedly expecting you to say, no, Dean, I'm reasonable and rational. I'm not pro-slavery. It shouldn't be left up to the state.
Wait, let me intervene. Okay, so two things. You're a very smart guy. Second thing, I feel like you were just trying to, like, when you have to hit that minimum word count.
Yeah, it's
you know what I'm
exhausting.
Like when you need a 500 minimum word count, you are that. You dude, you could achieve that.
I should be more concise
easily.
I should be more concise with what I say.
That 5-minute answer could have been Spark Notes, but
although it wasn't concise, my point was still correct.
Yes. Okay. So do you regret that statement? I mean, I don't know the exact.
No.
It was clearly taken out of context.
No. How was it taken out of context?
And the reason I'm saying that is because what I was saying about you being a very smart guy is, like, you know how to set people up and kind of trigger that kind of answer. I think that was kind of, I don't want to say unwarranted or just out of left field, but it was like kind of a crazy transition to go from, we were talking about abortion.
Yeah, it was a large jump.
So abortion should be left up to the states because all issues should be left up to the democratic vote of the states.
Is that what you said? Is that what you said?
He just said, he was like, well, if slavery should, I'm like, yeah, sure, I don't care.
So do you hold to the position that abortion should be left up to the states because the people should have a vote on everything?
Which it is right now. Yes, I'm fine with how it is right now.
No, so
and that's not every issue.
Is your position that abortion should be left up to the state because the people should have a vote on everything?
Which it is right now. I'm fine with that until there's a better way to do it.
Yes, that's her position. We test the logic that drives that position by seeing if there's any conceivable scenario of a thing that you don't think the people should be able to vote on. The analogy or hypothetical scenario that
if people want to vote on slavery, go ahead. It's not going to pass.
That's crazy.
Once again, it's a hypothetical that's so stupid that I'm not going to sit here and engage in it because it's dumb. You just wanted some gotcha moment, but it didn't work.
Wait, it didn't work? What do you mean it didn't work? You had hundreds of thousands of people looking at you calling you absurd.
Take a moment to just actually give an opinion on what you meant that day, or like
she's defending it.
Yeah. What else do I have to say?
Okay. Can you understand?
I can't agree with that.
Can you understand why we disagree with you?
If people want to go in and have a hypothetical debate about bringing back slavery, by all means, be my guest. This is such a dumb thing to even engage in.
Who do you wish won the Civil War?
But obviously, you agree that you don't believe in that.
It's so...
Who do you wish won the Civil War?
Okay, how about this? If it was my state and they were voting on slavery, I would vote against it.
That's not what I asked you. Who do you wish won the Civil War?
Is this even... Okay.
Emily...
But wait, you're going back to hypotheticals.
No, this isn't a hypothetical. The Civil War is an event that actually happened. And the Civil War had two sides. The Confederacy and the Union. 1 second. The Union, yes, the Union thought that it should be federally protected against. The Confederacy thought that it should be left up to the states. And there was people in the Confederacy that didn't like slavery, would personally vote against it, but still wanted the states to have the ability to legalize it, which sounds like Emily's position. So let me get this clear. Do you wish that the Confederacy would have won the Civil War?
She's not interested.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't even like care.
I think. Go
that's
ahead,
a damning non-answer.
I really just don't care.
Do you want to just?
That's a damning non-answer.
I'm just on to the next one.
All right. Do you have anything?
No, I see what you're trying to do, but you're talking about two completely different things, I believe.
Now, the relation between abortion and slavery, insofar as a right that should be delegated to the state-level governments or federal government, is an entirely different conversation that we can have. Yeah. But more so, I'm just curious on why the hell she thinks what she does about slavery, and if she agrees with the Confederacy. She gave a damning non-answer, so we can move on to why that is an analogous situation that we can apply here. if you want.
Yeah, I want to know why
He's
you're
debate trained. He doesn't talk.
No,
like,
I could
he
tell.
doesn't talk
yeah.
like we talk at
yeah.
the gym.
No,
you know what I mean?
yeah, like we're not like a bro, but I'm trying to understand why you're relating the two.
Come on, I could be bro. Yeah, sure, I got you. So there's two things. I would personally hold to the position that human rights should probably be federally protected against. I don't think in any scenario a state should be able to legalize a human rights violation. And it's that principle that drives us to the conclusion that slavery shouldn't be up to the states and should be protected against by the federal government. However, I also apply that to certain abortions. For instance, I think it is a human rights violation to infringe upon an individual's bodily integrity and autonomy without good reason. And I'd actually say it's those same human rights violations that drive us to the conclusion that slavery is wrong. However, under that same category, comes the criminalization of elective lethal abortions before a certain point, because there's just simply no reason to ban it.
It's fair. I mean, I can't really argue it. There's no arguing that.
He's a tough dude.
I'm curious. I have a question.
But I want to say this because I think, and we're going to transition. And sorry to cut you off, Brad, but
You're good.
As the head moderator, the king moderator, as we know.
Go ahead.
Now I'm going to switch up because I feel like there's no doubt if you sit down with me, Emily, or Brad, you'll probably own us in a debate setting, especially on a topic like politics. You will probably own us. Like I'm going to sit here and say that no problem. You're a smart guy. But like when it comes to certain this, and we're talking about like let's just move into like common sense, right? We're going to go back to the fires. We're talking about the fire. What's her name?
Which the
Hold on,
chief?
Mike.
The
Yeah.
mayor?
Do you know her name?
Karen Bass?
The chief of the fire
Oh,
department.
the lesbian?
Yeah. Okay. So the fire department chief is what they're saying. Elon Musk said this: a DEI hire that is pushing. She's part of the LGBTQ community, and she's trying to push for more of those members to join the fire department.
Okay.
And that's been a recent.
Can we start with DEI hire?
Yeah. But wait. Yeah. We'll get into that. I'm not afraid.
Well, that's what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, but wait, what I want to say is that something that she recently had said was that she wants to get more people involved, more members of the LGBTQ community. When it had me saying, and you're going to have a crazy answer for this and just go on, but when I think of something like that and I see that and you see the situation that's happening right now, why are we not just focused on getting people that are capable of fighting fires or that are smart? Why do we have to go and recruit a certain minority group to make more, to make them feel more at place, which is fine. I get that, but that shouldn't be a topic. If you're gay, lesbian, black, Mexican, Asian, and you want to fight fires and you are capable, let's have you in there. Yeah. We shouldn't be focused on just hiring those people, right?
Yeah. So here's the thing.
Don't you think the point should be, let's get the best
to
qualified
find
firefighters?
individuals with qualifications and merit. Here's the thing of how I perceive DEI to be applied to a lot of these issues. So when you have someone coming out say, hey, I wish that there was more individuals of the LGBTQ plus community serving as a firefighter of LA County, I think within their current hiring processes, they're not going to discount the merit of a white guy to instead hire a less qualified black guy. And if you could demonstrate to me the LA policy and demonstrate to me a case where that has occurred, you'd prove me wrong. But as far as I'm concerned, right, when we say those things like, hey, I wish that there was a better representation of members of the LGBTQ plus community, I wish that there's more black people involved in this thing that's specifically dominated by white people, it's not so much trading capabilities for race, gender identity, or sexuality, but it's more so saying, well, we already have, an incredibly non-diverse populace of these well-accredited, merited white men, that are firefighting for the county. How about we also hire some well-accredited, merited non-white men, etc.?
Sure.
I don't think that you're trading qualification off for race.
In her interview, she does kind of focus on the fact, she acknowledges the fact that she is a lesbian.
Yeah.
She wants to bring in more LGBTQ members.
And
I'm just saying, like, why is that such a main factor?
Sure. Well, I actually don't think it is a main factor, because when we'd probably look at the hiring policy,
then why even talk about it? Like,
well, now, so we could talk about things even if they're not a main factor, because we want more representation and diversity in any job. But I, once again, will repeat, if you look at the qualifications for hiring from LA County for firefighters, I doubt race, gender identity, or sexuality is going to be one. That's nothing more than a statement asking for more diversity to exist inside of this
Do you think
role.
that's played in any role? Like,
into hiring for
California.
firefighters?
Yeah. No, and like we'll say DEI hires. That they want to diversify.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes I think it's a good thing. I think it's good that we have representation in the workplace. So say if we have like 4 candidates, one's a white guy, one's a white guy, one's a white guy, and one's a black guy, and these 4 candidates all have the same exact merit and accreditation, but in the demographic of the people that are already working the job, it's already 95% white. Like, I have no issue if you say, hey, well, let's hire the black guy with the same exact qualifications.
How often do you think that happens, though, where you have a group of 5 people, all diverse, and they have the exact same qualifications?
Wait, we see like highly accredited, well-qualified individuals at the top of like a hiring list.
But I'm saying, how often do you think that happens?
How often? I don't know how like often it happens.
Okay.
Is the point you're trying to make is like, why are we even having that conversation in general and just
like,
hiring people who are good for the job?
And I keep going back to this, but like I've very active on X. Elon posts about this all the time. I think he even maybe retweeted this.
Because when I hear it, listen, when I hear it, the fact that we're even talking about it, like what, like
is ridiculous.
Why don't we just, if they're there and they're qualified, show up and apply for the job? But the fact that there is a chief saying we're looking for this, it's gonna already make other people be like, oh, okay, maybe not me.
But does it change the
I'm gonna go back to Brad's
point,
but this is the point that they're making, is that they're saying they're unqualified.
Yeah, and I don't believe
absolutely
that.
Unqualified.
I don't see enough evidence for that.
Okay, let's play this clip.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning?
Oh, she just walks away.
Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position?
All right.
Madam Mayor, have you...
And then play, wait, one more, and then you go. Can you play the URL one too, just so we can make sure Dina's seen all these?
Yeah, then I'd love to respond after this.
Emergency information, resources, and shelter is available. All of this can be found at URL. Los Angeles, together is how we will get through this. Through the heroism of our firefighters,
Okay. I already know exactly
what was that. What are we?
She was telling the people where to find her.
She's like, go online.
Where to search, go online for shelter, for supplies, and she read off a thing.
Fine. There's no, obviously the power goes out.
They left out the website, so she saw URL and read, go to URL.
Yeah, here's what I have to say about that. So
both clips that you just saw.
Yeah. It wasn't too long ago when we saw Mitch McConnell and Mitch McConnell.
No, I don't want to talk about Mitch McConnell. I want to focus on these two. Though.
So I'm going to focus in on that. Okay. I have to wrap in a couple other things that I find to be relevant. It wasn't all too long ago when we all saw Mitch McConnell standing in front of Congress with a mic in front of reporters, just for 10 minutes saying nothing before he was ushered off stage. And, you know, just a couple months ago, we found out that a Republican congresswoman had been living in a dementia care facility for the last 6 months. And it's funny because no one ever mentioned their race. But of course, as soon as it is a, what I see to be an incredibly competent black woman that did have like 2 moments when it's like, what she doing? It's all about her race. And I think this raises the larger question of why do you always want to zero in and persecute someone when they're black, but then seemingly when we have the white congressman on stage not answering reporters for 10 minutes, you don't care that much, or the white congresswoman
here's
in
what
the
I'm
dementia care facility,
I didn't say one thing about her race. Didn't say one
where
thing.
Did that come from?
This wasn't a conversation relating to DEI.
I want to just let you know that this is what's going on right now. This is the biggest moment in her career, 100%.
Yeah, she blew it. She blew it in that first clip.
My main point, I don't give a her race. I don't care if she's gay, straight. I don't give a bro. But when I see somebody like that, and when you have people in need that have to turn to somebody, and she's doing that kind of job, you have the firefighter talking about whatever, then you have Gavin Newsom who also doesn't know what to say. Like that raises a lot of red flags. And like you could see people who are citizens here, who live here, who have families that are affected, all three of us, that are kind of pissed off. And
about the URL one, okay, old lady who I don't give a fuck. I
hope
that they correct
that's no
about
excuse.
the first
if she's
clip.
An old lady.
Be
there.
About the first clip of her like not answering questions, standing in like the airport walkway.
That was ridiculous. Could give us responses. I know
the first clip.
6-year-old could give a response.
I will absolutely say that the first clip was ridiculous, not answering any questions. Like I'd say that was something bad that she did.
You want to know what?
And then also the reason I brought up like the fact that she was a black woman was because I'm guessing you played that clip relating to the prior conversation we're having about DEI and supposing that the only reason she was hired was not because of any merit or qualifications.
What I want to say about that is because
and then you use that as an example
Elon Musk, as you just had seen, Elon Musk and ton of other people have been reporting about this, saying she's completely unqualified, using DEI as a reason to why she was hired. I'm not saying that. I'm letting you know what other people have been saying.
Yeah, and I disagree with them all. We see this all the time from white people in government leadership. I think that we should just focus on getting younger people in these positions, and it has nothing to do with the fact that she's black, that she was hired and underqualified, or else we wouldn't have seen Mitch McConnell do the same thing, or the other white congresswoman from, North Carolina or wherever the hell, living in a dementia care facility for 6 months.
I think that after watching that clip, I think I could be the mayor.
Well, I don't know about
Is that crazy?
I don't know if you could pull it off. I mean,
Could you be the mayor?
I think I could.
I think I would at least have responded.
You would
to
have
the question.
responded to that.
I could pull.
I could do that. You could pull that off.
Can you run in LA day to day though?
Huh?
I mean, I feel like
she was.
I'm
dude,
super.
She was in Africa.
I'm unqualified to be having this conversation. I just want to point that out. I don't know anything about her. I'm not from LA. I haven't even heard about her until today. Should I do more research on her? Yes. Is it very possible that she's done a lot of good things for LA? Yes.
Sure.
Did she absolutely drop the ball in that clip? Yes.
Wait, do you live here?
Yeah.
Okay, you've been here a while?
Yes.
So you're aware she ran against Rick Caruso.
Yeah, who should have won for sure.
Who we all voted for, we believe, truthfully won. He was the true winner. You put him
and
his career. Won? We believe that it was rigged, and he won.
Why do you do that? You just you don't like it when you lose, so then you just call it rigged all the time. Trump did the same thing in 2020.
Me. This is a lot of people this is my city, and I fight very hard for all the corrupt politics here. So back to what I was.
You look like a congresswoman right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Was 2020
So
rigged?
back to what I was saying.
Okay, sorry.
You should understand. You put her next to him. There's no match. He's very successful. He built all the LA's favorite places here. He's brilliant. He's raised an incredible family. No one knew who Karen Bass was. You put them next to each other, then I look at her and I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. He's a white dude. He's very wealthy. On paper, he's much more successful than her. He would have done a better job running the city. And that's where I'm like, well, yeah, I think you got this because you're a typical Democrat. And this is probably when people say DEI, this is what they're talking about. The white man was better off and more qualified.
Dean, here's my question for all three of you.
Wait.
Do you think that this being California's obviously a Democratic state, LA very Democratic, do you think that does change the look they want to have, the vote that they have towards people?
Wait, generally speaking, so this is the mayor that was voted in through through an election, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no way. Okay, then absolutely no way her being black or her being a woman helped her at all. Typically what we see is people are less likely to vote for a woman compared to a man because of the traditionalist lie that men are better at leading than women, alongside the fact that people are less likely to vote for a black candidate compared to a white candidate. And I would love for any of you to demonstrate me any empirics to come to the conclusion that that's not the case even in LA County. Yeah, the only DEI that could possibly have occurred in that election is more people voting for the white guy over the black woman, not the opposite.
Why? But do you think the DEI, this whole new wave of really using that term to refer to people that have won or been elected, do you think that there is a DEI problem?
No, not in civil elections, not at all. And I don't think that DEI is a problem.
Okay.
I definitely not in civil. No, like I said, civil elections like this for government roles where the people vote, if anything, there is a DEI problem as it would relate to white men. People are more likely to vote for a white guy than a white woman. People are more likely to vote for a white guy than a black guy. People are more likely to vote for a white guy than a black woman. If anything, that's the DEI problem, and that's all driven given hundreds of years of white supremacy and the patriarchy.
What about Obama, though?
Oh, Obama won. Did I say that the white guy is certainly going to get voted in over the black guy?
How many terms?
2.
Okay.
Yeah, but one empirical outcome doesn't mean that what I said was wrong.
Was he one of the first candidates?
Via studies.
Was he one of the first black candidates to run? That made it that far?
One of the first to run? No, he was the first black candidate to win the presidency.
Yeah.
But for instance, if I have 50 pairs of shoes, 30 of them are blue, 20 of them are red. Sometimes I'm going to be putting on the red shoes, even though it's more likely I put on the blue shoes. So when you have hundreds of years of presidential elections, and there's predominantly white people filling these roles, and we know it's an empirical fact that individuals are more likely to vote for a white person over a black person. The idea that because we've had one black person in those roles doesn't demonstrate that people still don't have a tenacity to vote for a white person over a black person.
Okay.
So we should DEI our shoes.
What's that?
We should DEI our shoes.
He's a
Every
big
once in a while,
analogy
it's
guy.
like, I got to pick the red one.
No.
I'm trolling. I'm trolling.
I don't even know.
It wasn't even a clip. I just randomly was scrolling for some reason. I think this must have been, I don't know if this was just after the election, but we're like arguing about like Trump losing or why he shouldn't have won or whatever the was. But my personal,
lost.
What's that?
Trump shouldn't have won.
Anyway, so either way, the point is like, I was just
Wait, you don't have a
watching it.
response to that?
Well, we could talk about it later.
Well, he
Feel
won.
free to
So like, wait. So when this is the weird
But you're
thing with
kinda- but
politics.
that's
Hold
what
on a
I'm saying.
second. This is the weird thing with politics. When she said someone should have won, and she believed for whatever reason she believed they should have won, you go, oh, but they voted. And now when someone won,
Oh no! Emily literally said the election was rigged.
okay, so you're just saying you just believe he shouldn't have won. That's what.
Like my belief is that if everyone was perfectly rational prior to the election, Kamala Harris would have swept. That's the claim, is that she was a vastly better candidate. But about like you call it, like saying that, is Dean possibly a grifter? Is he doing this for the money, etc.? There's actually pretty like good response to that. I come from an incredibly conservative family in a conservative place, and I faced a lot of social repercussions for my more liberal views. Most infamously, I got illegally evicted from my brother's place where I was paying rent to stay just last month because he didn't like what I had to say about his political views. I have had relationships.
Okay, wait.
burnt.
Can you break down the eviction? I just want to hear this.
Oh yeah, dude lost it on me.
How are you paying to say? What does he do?
I don't want to give personal information on him, especially
You're
after.
paying to say I stay at my sister's too, so you're saving money. I appreciate that. But go ahead. How did the
Yo, there's so many levels to that make me want to laugh.
I stay at my sister's, so I get cutting back on rent. I that. Obviously, you're better off than your brother. But how did the eviction go down? Because I saw something about you got kicked out. Emily actually mentioned too that you got kicked out on Christmas.
Yeah, day after.
And what happened?
Yeah, man, real interesting. Really. So we knew that we had competing political beliefs for a long time, and for the most part, we were able to not necessarily see past them, but to figure out how to have a functioning relationship. Okay. And time passed. That was no longer the case. Next thing I know, brother's calling me the Antichrist, saying I'm an agent of chaos, a demon that wants to see the world burn. Grab your
Do you know what you
turning off
said?
the lights.
What'd you say exactly to like tee him off?
I don't think that there was an exact thing that was said to piss him off like that. I think it was just emotions that had built over a period of time.
Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it was politically motivated for some of it, but I think most of it was just jealousy.
Sure. Okay. Well,
do you talk about politics in your at home?
I do, definitely less than I do on the internet, and the conversations are directed much differently. Like, for instance, I'm sitting here with you, and my goal is to demonstrate to everybody watching on how you don't really have any reason for what you believe in. And my goal when I'm having a conversation with someone like my brother is more so to understand why he
Bro,
thinks
the way
what he
he's
does and come to an
disrespectful is
understanding.
so funny. I can't lie.
You know what's so funny?
Sorry.
Wait.
When no, let me.
That's comedy. You're funny.
all right, wait.
He's
Let's
funny.
let's have Emily respond.
I am trying to be disrespectful to him.
He is disrespectful.
No,
he
it
does
is
it in a
funny.
very
Like,
intellectual way. but yeah.
I do this for a living now. And it's so funny because 100%, if there was no money involved, you would not do this. I see your cringe little videos. You are 100% a grifter, which is why get the bag, but don't respect
I could
you at all.
disprove that in 5 seconds.
And anyways, it's
I
so
wanna
funny.
disprove
When I
that in
saw your
5
little
seconds.
videos of your live and you're like, my brother kicks me out.
I'm going to disprove that in 5
question,
seconds.
Did you ever just think about not being an annoying little it?
Oh, I piss you off because I'm
Because
smarter
it's like
than
if
you.
I was your brother, I
Guys.
would have kicked you the
Okay, wait.
so
I wanna.
Wait,
Even though,
no, I would like
It's
to hop
not-
in here.
it's
wait,
not
I got
your
one thing.
politics.
I got one
It's
thing.
not
Let her go.
you're
Let her go.
annoying.
I'm
Let her
gonna
go.
bring you in,
Let
but
her
one
go.
thing I want to say is I do think that I understand where Dean's coming from because a lot of time, with at family dinners, my dad would always
man,
look.
it's the worst.
My dad would look to my brother and
Never
be
had
like,
this
"Yo,
issue.
you should be." My brother played football. He was the man. They should have been like, "Oh yeah, this is my star child, right?" And then he'd look at me like I wasn't. You know what I mean? So I sympathize with you because I think your brother was probably the prodigy, but then you ended up making it. Is that where you're going?
Well, it doesn't matter where I was going anymore.
Was
Your
that
brother
just the
probably
dumbest thing I've ever
back
said?
there.
Go back
do
to
you-
Emily.
Just what I
Do you have
would
anything
think.
else
I
to
would just
say?
be like,
Get it
shut
out.
the up and get the my
So
house.
what you
Get it-
basically
get it
said
up
was,
here.
are you done being a little? Let's hear what you
So
say.
I
just said you're probably an annoying little. That's why I
Emily,
kicked you out.
really
It probably
annoying
wasn't
little
even
shit.
politics.
Do you have
it's
anything
probably
else
that
to
you're
say?
annoying.
anything else?
Okay, but what
No.
really? What
Okay,
really
okay. Do you mind if
annoys
I have the mic? Or
It's
actually,
like the,
sure.
it's like
Why
the
not?
attitude.
Okay.
Which is
So
Because
I
like
have a
people that
question.
like actually work in this industry don't speak to each other like that. I know it's different because you're on TikTok. I'm in like actual
on Fox News.
offices.
Emily, here's the thing.
But yeah.
By the way, you say I'm on TikTok, you're in actual offices. I was in the White House last month and had an article about me on the New York Times. I'd
Yeah,
pipe
you
down.
and Tranny
Anything
showing
else
their
to-
congrats.
Wait, repeat that for me. I didn't hear you.
You and everyone made it to the White House. The fat liberal TikTokers, the trannies, out,
wait,
pedophiles.
can we not call
I'm like,
trans? Okay,
congrats.
1 second. Let's not call trans individuals the
Trannies?
slur you just used. Yeah.
Okay, well, they're
and
trannies.
I just want to say, so we kind of had this conversation last time, where I tried to explain to you why you shouldn't slur, and then you're just like, oh my god,
Didn't
look at
you
this.
used to say it in the N-word online?
Oh, okay. Can we stop using slurs? But if you're curious, I can respond
but
to that
it's different if you do
secondarily.
it.
No, it wasn't different when I do it, and that's why I want to tell you to have a no, 1 second.
sorry.
And that's why I want to tell you to have a backbone. I was just like you when I was 14 years old. And I think that is honestly a really good demonstration to everyone at home watching why education is so important. The fact that we have a
yes.
grown woman sitting on the other side of the couch from me using such terminology without a backbone just because she's pissed I called her stupid is insane.
What do you mean no
All that I
backbone?
one moment, and here's exactly why you don't have a backbone. Because out of the 2-hour conversation that we had last time you were on, you had posted one clip on your TikTok account. And that one clip was me telling you that you shouldn't use slurs. And then you're just like, oh, you, you're gay. I don't give a shit. Eat a and die. And
Well,
then
I
it got
didn't
a
say
couple
any of
million
that,
views
but okay.
because, you know, all the other like 85 IQers ate that up. The point is it demonstrates a lack of intelligence. I honestly think that what we should all do as a society is like stigmatize that. You look stupid when you say that.
Do you think-
I bring up a completely reasonable, rational point that refutes what you believe in, and then you just start popping off using language that you know impacts harm onto others, and you know will get the liberal all frustrated to tell you that you look like and you sound like
Same
too.
words
me-
you
let
used
me-
to say.
let me just go in there.
Now
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of a sudden
They were
you're the-
wrong when I said them, and I'm so glad that I was able to learn what you can't.
I'm so
and I
glad
hope
you
that
learned
one
and grew
day you
from
wake
What did
up
you
in the
say?
morning
What did you say?
and you determine that
Dean,
you
what
want
did
to
you
learn
say?
it too. Yeah, when I was younger and I had the same amount of maturity as Emily.
What
over
age were
here,
you, do you know?
I was 14. I used the N-word. I used racial slurs and whatnot. I said the F slur too. And then came years where I was able to learn and grow as an individual. And then the reason I started my own live streams to talk about these things is because I want to share that same education with others. Now, of course, Emily over here doesn't want the education, doesn't want to hear why maybe it's wrong to use language that has been used for hundreds of years.
She
to
was quoting
historically
you, I
oppress
thought.
people.
But wait, wasn't she quoting you?
No.
Okay.
And then, like, additionally, like, obviously.
I like
my
how you're
words
like,
sound
I'm here to
different you
educate.
guys.
Meanwhile, you like debate like what other 17-year-olds on TikTok all day. Like
You have to be at least
very
18.
impressive.
Do you think that? Okay, Emily, do you think
It'd be
there-
very impressive if you had the same IQ as the average
do you think that you
17-year-old.
could
I'm not
maybe-
gonna lie.
Dean's claim that he's a changed man?
Are you saying she's a DEI hire?
No, I'm saying she's.
I'm a woman.
With you.
Like, I'm
He's
saying
funny.
she's fucking.
This is
okay. I'm not gonna
Holy
handle.
fuck.
Yo,
Like-
you're not gonna disrespect Emily like that.
Well,
while
I
she
mean,
looks
if
like
she's just
this
sitting here like
in my
using
place.
random slurs to make the liberal
Well,
mad,
she
like,
was-
it's just such, it's
in her
just
defense, she was-
an unproductive, stupid thing to do.
She was quoting you and asking you about your history.
That's not true at all. She's calling like transgender individuals
Yo,
that
get
went
Dean
to
in.
Trannies,
Get
what,
Dean in here.
what everyone's called them
TRANIES,
until you were politically correct
you know,
6
saying,
months
like,
ago.
the F slur.
Well,
and
wait.
R
Let me
slur,
ask you
dude,
something,
it's just
Dean. I want to ask you
weird
something, and I want to get your actual opinion on
Sure,
this.
of course.
You've definitely, like you just said, you had a.
He's breaking. Here.
Yeah. Could you
So
just?
I'm so sorry. This is why I want to sit over there. I apologize. I'm.
Could we just talk about that
I just
because
wanna- yeah,
you clearly
it's like falling.
you just stated you had a history of saying things that you regret
Yeah, yeah.
and that you were
Well, I mean,
not informed.
Yeah,
but-
using slurs is wrong.
But so don't you agree that people they can change?
Yes, everybody is capable of change. But
And
when
I'm not
you
saying she
will-
needs to change,
but-
but I'm just saying.
Well, I am, and when you willfully reject like any notion of intelligence or genuine conversation or potential education to make yourself a better person, to make the world better as a whole, and you just come out here screaming to my face because you're mad I'm smarter than you, you can't change.
Are you
not,
mad
not
that he's
today,
smarter
at
than you, or do you
least.
think he is?
It's just funny. It's like
Of course,
I just can't take. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie.
Can't take any of this seriously.
I'm not gonna lie.
You're fine. You're good. But I think
I seriously think that you may be psychotic, and I mean that. And that's not just like the mad liberal saying some shit, but like the reason I say that.
Let me ask
I'll give you 1 minute. You can throw your little tantrum. You can call me every name in the books.
It's not
you can get it out of your little system.
I'm trying to keep it real.
You're intellectually insulting her. Let's like king moderator. As we know.
How about we make a deal? If
she hasn't insulted you one time, or she called you.
Yeah.
Or wait, was it
because she hasn't insulted me.
I said if I was your brother, I would kick you out for being a little.
So Steiny hasn't insulted me because I'm a straight white guy, but she insulted nearly everybody else, listing off all slurs A through Z. Now here's my offer.
But so did you.
So yeah, and so did I.
And
if Emily wasn't sitting in that seat and 14-year-old Dean wasn't said, I'd be saying this to him. And for whatever reason, so many people can't understand that fact. I not at all think that the use of racial slurs when I was like, half Emily's age was acceptable in the slightest. And I talk about that every time it's brought up, and I will continue to talk about that in the foreseeable future, because it's an undeniable fact that when I was 14 and said the N-word, that was racism, that was bigotry, and I'm so happy I could become a better person. But I think to detract from Emily sitting 5 feet away from me screaming this with a smile on her face because she thinks it's funny by referencing me when I was 14 is insane.
What was screaming?
Oh yeah, sure. You used a slur typically associated with transgender individuals, the R slur.
What literally?
Okay.
You're too young. The thing is, you're also too young. You don't even realize that's what all normal people call transgender people.
My second moderator.
No. I'm here.
Brad is
please stop.
completely.
I'm here for legitimate.
I'm here
for a legitimate conversation between two people that disagree. If you can't keep up and you just want to sit here screaming derogatory language, I don't see any point in continuing this conversation.
Screaming derogatory language.
So is it not?
Just
and I
because
mean
you're
that.
offended.
And I get that.
And
I
I
get
mean
that.
that.
And you know what? This is a perfect time to cut to Scott. Play the Obama Trump clip if we could.
Well, I don't want to get off of that.
No,
I want to
we
hear
are gonna
it.
watch this, Dean. You were gonna sit there and you were gonna watch this. Because these are two people that have nothing to do. Whoa, Obama laughing, sitting with President-elect Trump.
Jesus Christ.
So two people that have Obama's completely wanted.
1 second.
To
How many
destroy-
continents are there? How many continents are there?
This is not important.
I'm like,
This is
I just don't even care anymore.
We're not going to. We're not going the fresh and fit route. Shut up.
Yo,
Fresh
don't
and fit.
do
We're
that.
not going that route.
Don't do
But-
that.
It's so exhausting.
Wait, but I want to know what you think about that clip, because you have a guy, Obama, who I love Obama. He's a great speaker. I actually really was inspired by him. I'm not going to
First
lie.
gay president.
I did vote for Obama. I did vote for
1
Trump.
second. Obama has a wife.
Michael?
Oh, okay. So you think that she's
Yes.
a man?
Yeah, I was trying to go.
So
somewhere
I
with
just
that.
I just want to.
Sorry.
So I just
you cut him off.
Come
No,
on,
it's not
I
okay.
just
I know where
just-
you're going.
I just want to verify. You think men can have?
Well, if they get the surgery, they can, right?
Well, I mean, Emily, can a man be born with a vagina? Because if you think Michelle Obama's a man, you
I
think
haven't
that
seen the
men can be
pregnancy
born
photos.
with.
What are you asking for?
Okay.
Oh, okay. So let me get this straight. She doesn't have a vagina. She has a. She's a man. The
I
kids
don't know.
aren't
I
hers.
haven't seen down there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if the kids were.
Guys, we
through
are
adoption,
going down.
surrogacy, we
The
don't
moderator's coming in.
Well, maybe.
The moderator's coming in.
Well,
Dean-
here's the thing.
Dean, you're a smart guy.
Unfortunately, I'm going to respond to all of the dumb she
You
says
will in a second.
because it's just
We have a lot to get
necessary
to.
to point
We have
out
a lot
the
to get
fact
to.
that
You
she's
can-
a
I like where
lower
you're
IQ
going
We have a
than
lot
my
to get to.
family
Emily,
dog.
you look. You're a smoke show. Love having you here. I'd love to get dinner after this.
Wow.
All the people watching that are like, yo, you're unprofessional.
I know where you're going with this. Can you do
but
it?
wait, let's go back.
Yeah.
So we just saw something, and I wanna go second. I wanna get your initial reaction without saying anything from me first. When you see that clip of Obama and Trump, what is your initial reaction to that?
Yeah, I feel like Trump probably whispered something about how much Elon sucks into Obama's ear, and he cracked out laughing.
Okay, so that's your response.
On a real note, I think it demonstrates to a certain point how individuals in our government aren't at each other's throats as they say they are, and it's a little peculiar.
Okay, so this is how I reacted when I saw that. I had an instant warmth of wow, this is unification. You have two people that hated each other for many years, said terrible things about each other, and now they're coming together. So that's how I react, right? I don't look at it as oh, yo, he probably said something about Elon, they're chirping each other. No, I look at that.
I was trolling.
I know you were trolling, but I'm being real.
No, but say his second part was his real point.
Which was, what was your second part?
Yeah, I mean, I think it demonstrates how
it's exaggerated.
In our government, like a lot of the hate and division is exaggerated. And
but did anything
really
about that clip make you like feel like, wow, this is cool?
Are you trying to relate this to like the Hawk Tuah thing when it was like it brought America together for a moment?
Bro, I'm being 100%. I'm not even trolling. I'm being 100% real. You got Obama who called Trump, and he
on the campaign trail.
Yeah, he did say that.
Can I see it?
Well, yeah, I'll show you in a second.
Obama called Trump Hitler?
They've said terrible things about each other. That's not the point. The point is that you have two people that are completely different, Dean, Emily, and you saw unification in the country. And at a time...
We're not too much different, only two standard deviations on the IQ chart.
And this is the problem that I have, Dean, and I want to talk to you about this. Before you guys go at it, I want to talk to you about this because you are a Democrat. You stand on everything you say. You're a very smart kid. I do appreciate that. But I will say, like, as a guy who voted for Trump, who wanted Trump in office, I see something like that with everything going on in LA, and it makes me really happy to see that you can have people that are so far apart on a spectrum of politics that is wholesome. They're laughing with each other. They're talking with each other. Clearly they agree or they want to talk about something deeper. And I think that is a far move towards unification.
And I understand.
But why not just be like, you know what, that is a good thing. Trump is going to be our president for the next 4 years. You have Obama who served 2 terms. Trump's already served 1 term. And you have 2 guys who hated each other that are kind of coming together, or at least it looks like.
So I understand why you think that from your perspective. I really do. Like,
what do you mean though from my perspective?
Well, I'll get into that right now. So like from your perspective, Trump's a good guy that's going to be a good president for America. Obama's just some Democrat that you didn't really like very much.
I voted for Trump or for Obama. I did say that.
Then you voted for Obama. So you might even like Obama a little bit.
I do like Obama.
So 2 people that you like that have been historically divided coming together. I understand how from your worldview that could be very symbolic of union and a lack of division, which is a good thing. From my perspective, I don't think that there should be unity in our country until some of these very core issues that impact so many individuals are fixed. And I think it's only at that point that unity is possible. So I guess to better rephrase what I said, I don't even really think unity is all too possible right now with a lot of these deeper issues. But I'm also not going to be sitting on the sidelines being like, holy, like, what the hell? Obama shouldn't have laughed at anything Trump said. That's kind of chronically online. There's no part of you, though, that
feels like this is a unified country. You have 2 people that hated each other, that wouldn't speak to each other. I think at Trump's inauguration, like they didn't even shake hands, something like that, or it was very awkward. Yeah. And now they're having fun, talking to each other like that. In my mind, that's great for the country.
I just think behind the scenes,
and you got to stand on what you believe in.
I just think behind the scenes, like people in our government actually aren't as divided as they like to say. There's actually been a lot of congressmen that have kind of talked about this. What was his name? Jeff Jackson from North Carolina. He said when the cameras are off, no one's really at each other's throat like that. I just kind of think that speaks towards a deeper truth that isn't prevalent in the media.
Okay, but see, that's where, one sec, Brad, I got to just say one thing.
Like each other.
They know they're getting filmed. So you're talking about off camera. This is on camera. So they're displaying that to the American people. This is on camera. They're showing to everybody, hey, we're talking, we're having a good time. They know they're being filmed.
Yeah. I guess they do know that cameras are in the room. But I think it's more of a subconscious knowledge compared to conscious knowledge. Like, who knows? Maybe if like Obama walked in there knowing that a camera was going to be on him, he wouldn't have done it. But that's kind of besides the point. Like, I don't really care. I'm not over here casting stones. But
you said something I found interesting.
I just want to get your opinion, but Brad, go ahead.
Yeah, you believe that that unity can only come when everyone agrees on the same thing.
On a couple things, not the same thing for everything.
Because you just said, but what I'm saying, what you said moments ago was that you don't think that there can be unity unless everyone is kind of like on the same page of like this
for specific
issues.
Thing. For specific issues.
Which specific issues?
Yeah, sure. Like a big one right now would be like women's rights. That's probably the biggest. Like every day, 60 great victims are being denied access to abortion in 10 of our 50 states. That is so terrible, right? I genuinely do not think that I could have unity with another person in a political sense until they could look me in my eyes, say that's terrible, and say we need to fix it. And it's just, one of those core issues. And there's a couple like it. But not every issue is like that. Like, for instance, I full-heartedly believe if Democrats and Republicans can, agree that pro-choice legislation is the way to go for all 170 million American women and girls, and we just kind of get back to disagreeing on tax policy, it is more than possible to have unity in our country. If we could get past disagreement on fact versus fiction and human rights, there is so much unity to be had. I really want us to be sitting here in 4 years, each other about if trickle-down economics works. That is unity in America, not when we're each other about if it's right or wrong to slur individuals or if a rape victim should be able to get an abortion, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Really quick, but I have somebody here who is one of the best debaters I've ever met. Togi, if you want to come in.
Wait, what? Fuck.
What?
What are you talking to the best? Oh, okay, I already know.
He's a DEI hire.
Just be ready, bro.
He's
Yo, this is not. Oh my God! Look at this guy.
Togi.
Dude.
Fuck that! Don't worry about that.
Keep hitting the mic.
Dean. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well.
Togi, if you want to sit right here. All right. Well, we'll talk about that. But what are your first impressions of Togi when he walks in? He's got how many chains you have on?
5.
You got to bring the mic in front of you.
5.
First
Rapper
impressions
chains.
of Togi, I really like your jean. I like your sweatpants. They're pretty sick.
Yeah, thank you,
bro
dog. These
said
are my
rapper
favorite
chains?
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. One day I'm gonna get enough rapper chains. They're not even gonna be rapper chains. They're gonna be Togi chains. I'll have them all.
How?
Yeah, I miss you too, Brad. It's been too long. Thank
guys,
you.
Emily is going to be right back. She was so hurt by the mean things that Dean said, and she just had to take a moment.
I just want to make it incredibly clear. Emily came in here for a debate. She couldn't tell me who she thought should have won the Civil War.
Okay,
Crashes
let's
out,
wait till
starts
she's in the room.
slurring,
That's how I look at
and
it.
then
Let's be
leaves.
fair. But she had to go to the bathroom, and I had to bring in my Where are you
You're a
from?
master debater, or what?
Where are you from?
Master debater. So
Sir.
this, I'm from and what's it called, dude? Why can I not think of where I live? Woodland.
Oh,
Woodland.
Yeah, yeah.
wow.
But where's your heritage?
Oh, China. Sick. You don't like the Chinese?
I don't have any racial biases against
Yo, you're
Chinese
hilarious.
people.
I know there's a
bro.
lot of
What?
testosterone in here. I don't want you to feel intimidated.
What?
with
Am I
3
missing
big
something?
dogs.
Is he?
No, he's
is
just
it-
funny.
Does he have a
We got-
history with this, or I'm
No.
never offended?
Are you
but-
familiar with Togi?
Oh no, I'm not familiar with you. Nice to
Togi,
meet
this
you.
is not his realm. He's usually a gym bro influencer that drinks
Yeah, all that good
little
stuff.
Oh.
bit of the sniffies in there, my boy.
What?
My
Okay.
boy.
Okay.
Have
okay.
some fun.
Okay, Togi.
But he's a very successful entrepreneur.
Nice.
From one of my favorite places, China, my boy. Yeah. we
Favorite
can do it.
places you
Yes,
ever
sir.
been?
No.
It's low key, but I'll make it dope one
I
day.
need to
I'm gonna.
visit. I want to see
Um.
the wall.
So
But I wanted to bring you guys in here. 'Cause
Yeah.
You're complete. I'm not I just feel like we have Emily in here. You guys are obviously complete opposites. We saw the Obama Trump. We have Togi in here. Wears a lot of chains. Jacked. You're in here. You have your own vibe, which is cool. I feel like Blink-182, Good Charlotte vibe, which I listen to in the gym. So that'd be
He's got honestly the dopest band on his shirt right now. I feel that heavy.
Which one is
you
it?
listen to Deftones?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all do.
What the?
Okay,
Yeah,
but so I wanted to bring Togi in here because I feel like there is some merit in Togi, you guys educating each other, just being so opposite. So I don't know if you're familiar with Dean. If
Yeah,
there's
so
anything-
I hadn't heard of you until I was brought on here, and I'm nervous, dude. I'm massively intellectually outmatched. I think I have a feeling this is just not my realm. I've never done a debate before, but I'm ready, and I think
Dude.
we likely disagree on a lot of stuff.
Well, there's
but
a-
also I'm here to, I'm open-minded. I'm ready to learn.
So here's the thing. I first of all just appreciate you for being humble in the fact that
humble. This
it's-
guy has 8 Cubans.
Rapper chains on.
And he's got an
Well, I
iced
should
out.
be-
Is
I
that a
guess-
If we're
paddock?
talking, I'm not going to be humble, but
Oh.
we're talking politics. I don't even know what a conservative is. So like,
wow.
He did say. Is that okay?
I mean, would you
Oh,
be okay if someone called your mama?
no, yeah, that would suck. But
That's
my mom's not a. She's my mother, and she's the best.
Well, I mean, think
You
about
know,
it.
like, think
What-
about
what
That's a
are
good point.
Think about it. Your mother, my mother, is a sweet Asian lady
Here-
that
here-
raised
here's-
me and
here-
works hard
here's
to make.
my-
Let's hear his definition, please, because I would like
Okay.
to have the.
And then
Urban
like
Dictionary.
bitch is like you got a college girl that loves to drink and like
Whoa.
bitch mother angel,
Uh-huh.
and my mother has worked countless years to establish herself as not one of the.
Okay, so would you say your mom used to be a bitch when she was in college?
Definitely not. 'Cause
Exactly.
It's my mother.
So
But not all girls in college.
I have
That's a good point.
I have a proposal.
Mhm.
I wouldn't call my mom either any point throughout her life Other women are either someone else's mother or could be someone else's mother, so I don't call them bitch.
Okay, I see where you're coming from with
But
that
if they have
angle, but
so then if they don't have kids, is it valid?
Nope, still not valid.
Oh.
I could give an entirely new argument.
What's your
You know, like
what's your immediate like reaction to like Togi who walks in here, chains on, gym bro, talks about, we'll say, females that way.
Women that way.
Women.
So, yeah. Well, I mean, like, first of all, like,
do you think you
that,
guys could ever have a beer and like get along or see eye to eye?
Well, I think that, you know, we could get along in the sense that I'm not going to be at your throat. You're not at my throat. And I think that if anything, having like the the spot to talk to you is really valuable, because I feel like calling women bitches is something that has been done forever by so many people. I was probably calling women when I was in high school.
What about calling dudes when they're acting like?
I call a dude if he's right, but the reason why like I'm adverse to calling women is just because like men have just done it for so long to just kind of be a, and it's like it's really not that, it doesn't take that much energy to just not call women, and it's just been used for so long in a really mean way that I just choose not to do it.
Well, yeah. What should I be calling these?
Okay, all right. Well, okay. So when you say, when you refer to women as you're referring to women with a term that you'd probably sock some other dude in their face if they referred to your mom that way. Have some empathy. Don't call other women if you wouldn't like it if someone else called your own mom that. Secondarily, what do you mean synonyms? I mean, can you give me
Brad, you
some more
got
specifics?
This. You got tons of your crib. Huh?
No, like another
like
word
kind of thing. Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like,
dude,
it's never that deep, right? Somebody would call my mom. I'd be like, all right, I'm not gonna fight him because I don't care, because I am doing my own. Me and my mom are probably gonna go to a nice dinner and watch a movie and have a good night. Why do I need to be like so defensive and angry? Like, you, especially with slurs. I heard you're against slurs. Like, I've never been offended if someone calls me a or something like that, because it's just like, why does it need to be such a big deal? Why do you need to be so worked up about a word that doesn't need to?
That's kind of like my thing too. Is why does it need to be such a big deal to just stop using the language?
You just went off on Emily for saying a couple things.
Yeah, the reason why I went off on Emily is because she's completely adverse towards any rationale.
Are you not going off on Togi because he's
one moment.
from
Do you
China
mind
and he's not a white woman?
Do you mind? One moment. So the reason I went off on Emily was because she sat 5 feet away from me and then just started to repeat this language, then laugh and smile in my face while I was trying to explain why we shouldn't use it and why she looks stupid. And you said, well, it's not that big of a deal to use slurs. I don't think it's that big of a deal to stop using slurs.
100%. Both sides aren't that big of a deal. So it's like you can pick a side and no one should, I can speak the way I want and you can not speak the way you want.
I think
we're good.
I think it's like a pretty decent deal to not use slurs. I guess like we shouldn't want to, we shouldn't do it. And I mean, we could actually have like a somewhat rational conversation about this. Like, imagine this. You have 2 guns in front of you. This is an analogy.
Trevor's not here. I got to lock in.
So
I like this. I like where he's going. You have guns.
You have 2 AR-15s.
Does he have guns too? In this?
Well, he has 2 guns on his arms.
Do you have an AR-15? Dean,
Yeah.
Dean, do you own an AR-15?
No, I don't.
Hey, we're boys. Just letting you know. If South, we're boys.
Wait, you don't own one? He said he don't own one.
What?
Huh?
He said he doesn't own
Just
one.
in case he owns one. I don't know.
I own one.
I don't know.
I got you.
Okay, whatever.
Anyways, so there's 2 guns in front of you. Gun number 1 has been used to shoot up a school and like kids.
Mm-hmm.
Gun number 2 is just like gun number 1, but it's fresh off the manufacturing line. It's never been used to anybody. If you had to use a gun, which gun would you use?
Obviously the fresh one. You got to explain it better for
obviously
me. Obviously
the fresh one.
Following the analogy entirely,
Well,
but obviously the fresh
one.
one.
Well, you wouldn't want to use a gun that someone else used in like a crime.
Yeah,
it just got bad vibes.
Wait, I'm
to
confused.
it.
Exactly.
I'm confused on where you're going.
Elaborate,
Sure,
because this is interesting.
Now,
All right.
now
If you
get
get caught with that gun, and then you get
Because-
popped for that crime.
Well, you
maybe.
kind of
We're not
gave
even talking about the crime.
outside of the crime. Obviously, one gun is the better choice. So
Yeah,
you have
and like we may even take it a step further and say like, well, no one should ever use like the gun that was used kill 10 kids again, we should just like, melt it, burn it, whatever the hell. There's
So
a lot of other guns to use that haven't been used the same way that gun has. The analogy here is in the same way we wouldn't use a gun that's been used historically to perpetuate a lot of harm. Let's just say the same thing about words. I mean, like the N-word has been used historically to perpetuate so much harm and marginalization against black people in America.
Yeah, but words have a lot more depth,
just like that gun,
than the gun, right? Like now, black people love saying the N-word. Are they choosing this AR that shot up a bunch of kids? Like you can't. It's not quite as black and white in that sense. I see what you're saying, but people tend to. They're just not like quite clicking as an accurate analogy.
Let's actually drill down on that analogy a little bit more. Okay, these 10 kids were all shot with like this one gun. Now, what if those 10 kids lived and they wanted the gun that shot them? You gonna care? You gonna stop them?
This whole gun analogy is...
Yeah, you threw me off. I'm not gonna lie.
It's going over your head.
Too far right.
Okay.
I think it might be going over my head entirely.
Okay,
I'm really trying here.
Wait, here's what I want to talk about.
So I'm relating...
What up?
Did you have something you want to say before I intervene? Because I am the king moderator here.
Last
Bradley is also
podcast
moderating.
I'm second moderator.
I watched like the first 20 minutes of the last one.
Go ahead.
You were a horrible moderator. As the moderator,
That's why he brought me in this time. That's why I'm here.
Like,
in what way was I a bad moderator?
Well, you just had opinions, which isn't what moderators do.
wow.
Yeah.
I like this
You don't
guy
think there's
about
any...
this
You don't think
position,
there's...
not the other
Oh, so you're
things.
not trolling ever?
Well,
You don't think any part of me was trolling?
No, but a
complimenting
moderator
people?
is like, let him talk.
Yeah,
like,
that's
you
the
don't
whole
insert
troll,
your-
you I'm
Yeah, but
not
you
a
don't
moderator.
insert- otherwise, it's like we're just looking like the.
I've had
Oh,
eight
okay.
happy
My
dads.
bad.
I've
I
had
didn't know it
8
was a
happy dads
joke.
on
I
this
didn't know you were
podcast.
actually
My bad,
not a
sorry.
moderator.
I've had a few drinks on this
I thought
podcast.
this is
See,
what
I'm
you
a
called
qualified
me.
moderator, and I want to go back to one thing.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I thought that the whole thing would be like a lot more serious. Like obviously Emily didn't come here for debate.
She did. Wait, Dean, you told me, and you said this on the phone. You said, "Hey, you can bring anybody you want. I will talk to anybody." Did you not? You said
No,
bring
I did. I did say
anybody
that.
you
I
want,
did say I would
stack the
talk to
room,
anybody.
Bring anybody you want.
Yeah.
So
I did.
I have,
And you have anybody.
and I
get
have,
it.
and I
yeah.
did exactly what you wanted. I have
Well,
Brad
right.
here.
I'm being 100. Like everything I
And
say,
I'm gonna say,
taking
but by that
seriously.
statement, I
Yeah,
feel like
I want to
Just
have a
'cause I'm
conversation
not,
with you.
on
Yes.
the same debating level as you.
No, I think
doesn't mean
I'm
that.
more.
But like I'm serious. I'm taking it all
I think I'm
serious.
more like hung up on like just dude. I'm like I'm
Emily still
Emily-
got you up, huh?
yeah, bro. That was weird.
Wait,
bro.
but why do you feel like Togi?
Typical.
No, I
think
think
I think
I
what you're
appreciate
trying
you for
say is-
talking to me. I appreciate it. Yeah.
You want to call her?
No,
No.
Brad.
I'm sorry. I'm trolling.
I'm trolling. No, he doesn't want to say that, but I feel
I
like
know he
what
doesn't.
Dean's trying to get at is he doesn't feel like Togi, you're as qualified.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Listen,
Like, go buy another
Togi,
chain and go hit
I
the gym, you
actually appreciate you for sitting down and like saying that you were open to having a conversation with someone that disagrees and maybe seeing if like you're wrong about something. I actually really appreciate that. And I always do the same thing. Whenever I'm going into a new conversation, I go in with a mindset. This is what I believe in. And quite frankly, I have a lot of reasons why I do. But if someone is able to prove what I believe in wrong and refute every reason I have, I'm open to the idea of, adopting and conceding to their opinion. But I guess my point here would be about what we're talking about. Overwhelmingly, the reason why we shouldn't use slurs is because they've been used for so long to perpetuate so much harm. And something I hear a lot from people that like are okay with the usage of slurs is like, words don't hurt. But the thing is I'm not mad at the grammatical structure of the N-word. The grammatical structure of the N-word isn't what pisses me off. The reason the N-word pisses me off, the reason I say we shouldn't use it, is because of how it has been used to hurt so many.
Well, it's been but the difference with the guns is the N-word, like you said, didn't cause harm. Like the whips they're using, that's the core harm that's being caused. The word has really no harm, even in the moment.
Harm.
It does.
Yes, physical
It does.
harm.
I could explain this. Great question. So when white people in America owned black individuals as slaves, they came up with a lot of excuses to feel better about it. For instance, white slave owners like to sexually assault black enslaved women. And they came up with this lie that black enslaved women couldn't feel pain to feel better about it when they did. And to take it further to the point of how it relates to the usage of the N-word or other similar terms, like white people literally created these terms to strip the humanity away from black people, to make them less considerate about what they were making them undergo.
Dehumanizing the black
let me
people
say
is the
something,
problem,
No, but
not
wait.
what you title the dehumanization of.
So
these
this is
black
like
people.
a common trend, and Togi, I mean, I don't mean to cut you off, but a common trend now, and I think that, like me, Togi, how old are you?
22.
He's 22. I'm 30, so I've been more educated probably. I don't know your level of education.
I failed college, so.
Okay, so my education's higher, so I've been educated on the history of the U.S., slavery, all of that. But there's this new wave of people that are younger that don't even look at it like that. So he might not even know about the history of slavery, the U.S., all this stuff. And he just says it because he's wearing 8 chains and is wearing a Patek Philippe. Like, my whole point is that
when I was 14,
he's not trying to be offensive. He's not, and I don't know. But what I'm trying to get at is like,
you don't
you're
say
not
it with
maybe,
the intention
maybe
of
you don't know. Like,
dehumanizing.
you're just trying to.
So, for
do your
instance,
thing, right?
if you were to say like the N word in between, like, a
but
group of
wait,
friends,
he doesn't say that.
Okay, but if you were like to say the N word in between a bunch of friends, it is entirely possible for you to do so without the intention of like wanting to harm black people. And the important distinction here is between intention and impact. Like, for instance, when I was 14 using the N-word, I didn't want to harm black people, but it doesn't matter. That was still racist and wrong because of the impact that that word has, especially when it's normal to use, normalized in society. And I don't think that it should be normal for people to use words that were used to kill and enslave people for hundreds of years.
We all agree.
Words have so many been redefined a billion times.
Go ahead. We all agree that you should not use the N-word. We all agree with that.
Well, I say the N-word frequently, not like in an aggressive manner.
For
maybe I should
me
stop.
And Brad, if you want to clarify.
No, I don't.
Not frequently, but sometimes it happens. Never in a derogatory sense.
Do you think it's wrong to say any word, like any slur?
No.
Okay, let me see.
That's a good question.
So here's
maybe
let me take a different route with this. If you had a 10-year-old daughter and someone walked up to you and said, I want to sexually abuse your 10-year-old daughter, but said it as a joke, not because they were actually going to do it, do you think that'd be wrong for them to say? Well,
no, because that being said as a joke is way different than using the N-word not as a joke. I'm using the N-word which has a different meaning than there's only one meaning to I'm going to sexually assault your daughter, which is what you're saying. Whereas the N-word, it's like, that's my boy.
So the reason it's wrong to use that phrase from your perspective is because it communicates an intention of harm, right?
The N-word?
No, like threatening to sexually abuse a child. Is what it communicates an intention of harm as well as it could lead to the actual harm of a child. Is that why you think it's wrong to say that phrase even as a joke?
Yeah.
Okay, so just to like try to find some middle ground before we even go deeper into this conversation, because I fully plan to, do you think it's also wrong to use slurs if you want to communicate an intention of harm?
Well, it depends on the context of like the harm, right? Like
let's give a little background to you. You stream where?
Kick.
And I'm sure your chat says crazy stuff.
Wait,
yeah.
Just like all that I'm asking you is if you think it's wrong for a white guy to walk up to a black person and scream the N-word at them because they're a white supremacist.
We all agree.
That's wrong.
Definitely wrong.
So we think it's wrong.
Yeah, okay, you misinterpreted.
But that's the context you're using.
Okay, so you think it's wrong to use slurs to communicate an intention of harm. Now I have to convince you of the position that it's wrong to use slurs without an intention of harm because the impact still exists. When you use the N-word in or between with your friends, what happens is you're more predisposition yourself to use it more in society. So are your friends. The term becomes more normalized. More people use the term. And what that inevitably results to is more people accepting the usage of the term as normal, which inevitably results in the consequent of people not really caring or caring less when a white supremacist goes out there and slurs the hell out of a black person.
But I think it's
So should black people also not use the N-word?
I wouldn't say like I'm in a position where I can make that judgment as a white guy.
But wouldn't it have the
it's
same
very
implications?
important.
Like if we're just saying that what you're saying for him using it.
There's actually there's a lot of black people that think black people shouldn't use the
Absolutely,
N-word.
but that's not what I'm saying. I'm asking
There's
you
a lot of black
specifically,
people that
based on the
think black
implications that you're
people
saying that it
can reclaim the
creates,
word.
right? And like that it's
Yeah.
causing a problem and it's perpetuating a problem or allowing a problem to be perpetuated. Then would you say that all people should just not use the word then?
So I think that there's arguments for the idea that it's okay for black people to reclaim the word and use inside of the black community in a non-derogatory manner to change the meaning of the word over time for them, while still holding the position that non-black people in our society shouldn't be able to use the term because that communicates a message of harm as it has historically. But like, just to make it clear, like there is like liberals in the black community that don't think anybody, including other black individuals, should be able to use the term. But like, obviously, all I can do is just communicate the arguments that exist. Like, I can't say like, oh, yeah, no.
I know, but when
black
I hear the
people shouldn't be
argument,
able
like
to
I
use
get
the
it
term.
and I hear your point. And I don't use the word and I don't think we should use the word. I don't think I should. I don't think he should.
No.
You know, the color of him is a little different than the color of us. But I'm saying
Well,
like,
I mean,
you know, like
not
maybe
black.
his friends are like saying it to him and he's like, that's my guy. Like maybe they're, you know, like we don't know the context, but what besides that context, when you speak directly about a word and its implications and what it can do and what it's causing or what it has caused, then that is applicable to everyone in that sense.
Yeah, so you're making the argument that, well, if it is true that we shouldn't use words that have been used like wrong historically, no one should be able to say them, including members of the black community. I don't know. I think it's different for black people compared to white people because they're not, because they're the ones impacted from its usage. And I feel like we kind of like ran through this with the use of the gun analogy earlier. You know, one gun's been used to shoot 10 people, another gun hasn't. You probably shouldn't use the gun that's been used to shoot 10 people. But if the 10 people that got shot by that gun survive and then they want that gun back to do their own thing with it, I'm not going to give a shit. They were the ones that are shot. They get to make that judgment. I certainly don't.
I'm confused.
I'm going to bring Emily back in here in a second, but I want to really quick cut to Togi and ask, if you were president, what would be the first thing you would do?
Oh, no.
Why he say, oh no?
Which
Oh,
I'm not
God.
opposed
If
to
I was
voting for you
president, what's the
because-
first thing I would do? I really hate politics. I don't want to get involved, and I never get involved. If I was in charge of the whole country, I wouldn't want to be in that position because I'm too concerned about my friends, my family. Everyone else in America can do whatever the they want. That's not good for America. There'd be no structure. So I would opt out of being president entirely. I mean,
But if
I
you were,
voted,
what's the first thing
I
you
voted
did?
for
There's
Trump.
hints of the kick chat.
I'm gonna be honest. If I was president, everyone had to go to the gym. They got mandatory gym hours in life.
You don't have any mandatory.
Wait, Brett, I actually want to ask you something about that.
Yeah.
So you think it's okay to make things mandatory if it's beneficial for their health?
Oh,
so
God,
if
here
the
we
vaccine
go.
was
No.
beneficial for people's health, would you be okay
Oh
with
God, don't get me
mandating
started
the
on
vac-
this. I'm not going to talk about this.
Okay,
This is
okay.
This
So
that was very
Togi-
sensitive to me.
Togi just gave his answer that everyone would be required to rock a Cuban link, which is. Do we have the diamond tester in here?
Test away, brother.
No, I'm kidding, bro. They're all.
That's real?
He gave. Yeah, they're all real.
How much money do you have on your neck?
Maybe like 400,000.
Holy
Yeah, it's sweet, right?
So, do you look at somebody like this who's very successful? He's absolutely crushed. Togi is a friend of mine. He's funny as he's funny as, and he's one thing that I really respect about him, and that I'm gonna say that not enough people do is he is an open book. So everything that he actually does and he believes in, he lets his people know.
Put it out there.
So I think
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people. I'm not gonna go at you, but I think there's a lot of people that might hide the way they feel or might be careful with what they say to appeal to their audience. But I'm saying he's an open book. I respect him for that. So now I want to ask you, you're president, which you probably want to be one day. What's your first thing you're doing?
The gym. For
Oh,
sure,
there's
too.
so much.
Same thing.
No, one thing.
so
You got
much.
one thing that you got to change or tackle right away.
Only one? Like,
No, your
can't be,
first.
like,
Your
three?
first thing.
Yeah.
Your
What's
first
the
thing.
most important thing? I guess.
Okay,
Right.
well, okay, so like first of all, I feel like the pressing issues in 50 years, 30 years are going to be different than the pressing issues today.
Okay, so
let's
today.
just assume I were to become president tomorrow. Like the first thing that I would probably do, like given that the Democrats also had control of like Congress and maybe even the Supreme Court, is I'd try to pass legislation for a woman's right to access abortion. I genuinely do think that is the most pressing issue in America, is reinstituting federal protections for every woman and girl's right to choose. And the reason why I say that's the most pressing issue in America is because every single 24 hours, like clockwork, 60 rape victims are denied access to healthcare, to abortion, in 10 of our 50 states that have criminalized it in all cases. That makes it single-handedly the most pressing issue in America right now. Now, is there other pressing issues? Absolutely. But I'd say that one probably takes the cake for me.
I respect that.
Well, why can't we just have abortion for whatever those cases, like rape, whatever, incest?
Togi raises a strong point.
But then the rest of,
scenario.
or like whatever, the mom's gonna die. But like the rest of abortion is
Yeah.
like murder and whatnot.
Because I don't think that an abortion is wrong for a sexual abuse victim, obviously, but I also don't think that abortion is wrong for a woman that consented to sex, knowing that a pregnancy could potentially be a consequence of it. I don't think it's wrong in any of those cases. So
Why not?
I don't think it should be. Legal.
So you just don't think that's like a human being or like a life that's worth saving?
I do think I do think a fetus is a human life. However, I don't believe that it has moral value until about 20 weeks gestation. I think that what is valuable about us is our conscious experience. I don't think what's valuable about us is our biological
life.
life.
My grandma is like late stage Alzheimer's. Like she literally has no idea what's going on. Like, is it right to just murder her because she doesn't remember any experiences? She remembers none of her friends, none of her life, like nothing.
Well, I value.
She has no consciousness.
Well, she has a low level of consciousness, and I value any level of sentience or consciousness in a human being. For instance, I start valuing the life of a fetus at about 20 through 24 weeks. Your grandma with Alzheimer's definitely has a higher level of sentience than a fetus at 20 through 24 weeks that I give the right to life.
I'm just saying, based off of my personal interactions, she might as well be like just an egg and a sperm at that point. Like there's really like nothing like.
So is this your mom's mom?
Is your grandma like
father's mom?
Is your
Clinically,
father Chinese?
is your grandma like connected to life support? Considered?
Yeah, she's in the
brain
hospital
dead?
right now. Like pretty much. Or another good example is like if somebody's fully in a coma. And they're going to wake up and their brain's just so deep fried, they got nothing. They don't know how to walk. They have no experience, no memories. Like, or if they're going to be in a coma for another 50 years, should we just start stabbing them because they have no consciousness, or much less consciousness than
we could
a
explain
fetus,
that.
potentially?
So I value a person in a coma. And how do I reconcile my value for coma patients with my lack of value for a fetus or a brain dead patient? And the way that I reconcile those beliefs is that I do value consciousness in the future as long as they've already had consciousness or they have consciousness right now. So I hold a conjunction of traits to be morally valuable. That being that you have to have past or present and future subjective experiences.
That's just a disagreement on like a fundamental disagreement on beliefs.
What do you think makes
What do you think
makes us valuable?
What do you think you guys can agree on?
Well,
I think he's saying the idea of being conscious prior is valuable. I would say your prior experiences aren't important at all to me, as long as you are a living little creature, whatever, if it's this tiny, like you've never had any experiences, but you have the opportunity to grow into a billion experiences.
Wait, I didn't actually like that. I'm gonna tell you why, because you looked at Brad when you did this.
He's trolling now.
And
he's obviously trolling.
I didn't really appreciate that. I don't know if he was trying to say go at you.
I don't think
for...
so. I think you're just reaching at straws.
So let's
wait, but I want to actually get into this really quick. Yeah.
Hop in, give your position, man.
Okay, here's my position. Do you think that? And we've talked a lot about abortion.
Let's talk more about it.
Wait, I want to move into something else. If that's cool with you.
Well, I wanted to hear what you had to say.
Okay, so go ahead. That's fine.
Okay. So you value any and all human lives. So there's a couple ways that we could kind of respond to that to see if that's truly what you value. And we'll run through them because you want to talk about some other things. So just to briefly address it, ask yourself if you value clinically brain dead people. They are human, they are alive, they don't have consciousness, and we typically don't consider it murder to pull the plug on them. The only difference between you and a brain dead person is that you have consciousness, they don't have consciousness, and they never will again. On another hand, when you tell me that you value any and all human lives, ask yourself if you value a unicellular human organism. Would you rather save one human baby or 10 human zygotes?
You're gonna have to define that the zygote.
Wait, one
With
human
the
baby
first
or
stage
10
of
what?
human
It's
development. 10 human zygotes. It's a unicellular human organism. It's a first stage of human development. It occurs right after conception.
That's a very difficult question. I think they're equally valuable. So a 1-to-1 ratio. If we're saving the 10, I guess I'll save the 10. But at a 1-to-1, I think they're equal. One has a potential future of a million experiences, and one has, you know, people that care about them. They have their own experiences. Like,
Okay, I hear you.
I think they're just as valuable. They're humans.
So if a
humans
human zygote
valuable.
is just as valuable as a fetus, is as valuable as you or me, well, if I were to pull out a 9mm and kill you right now, I'd go to jail for 25 to life. Let me ask you a question. Women with IUDs, it's a form of birth control that sometimes kills those zygotes, the same way I'd kill you. If I should get 25 to life for killing you, should a woman with an IUD get 25 to life?
Well,
for
here's the
killing
thing,
a
Wait,
zygote?
I'm
right?
gonna
So
cut you off
that's
as a
not
moderator really
the-
quick, Togi, because
well, no, I have something to say about it.
I know, but it's very different because IUDs is way different than holding a 9mm or somebody.
The only difference is the
IUD
intention, right?
Well, no,
It's not intention because you know you're getting an IUD. Girls get IUDs so they don't get pregnant. They
Oh,
want to avoid all
so
that.
they
Trust
do
me,
two
an
things?
IUD is one of my favorite things
So
that chicks have.
So
I'm just
one second.
saying.
So IUDs can do two things. IUDs can prevent the implantation
I know,
of a
I'm
conceived
very
zygote,
familiar.
and they kill a zygote. IUDs can also prevent conception, but they do both. It says it on the label of an IUD box. You're more than welcome to research it. There's two functions of an IUD.
I just trust.
Yeah, but
whoever
that's
says
not
they
the
have it.
primary function of an. And for the record, I am against IUDs because
Why?
of this reason.
But do you
There's
think
better
they-
options for
do you
birth
think
control.
they murder?
So that's not the intended function of the IUD.
Well, hold on
It
a
can
second.
happen.
Hold on a second. I apologize. It is really weird to relate someone going to get this device, an IUD, for example, to avoid pregnancy as soon as they can versus relating that to shooting someone with a gun.
Well,
Well, no, I see where it's coming from because they're both humans, right? He didn't.
It avoids a pregnancy by killing
A
zygote.
better analogy wouldn't be shooting somebody with a gun. It would be the idea of getting your car in your car every day. You're not intending on murdering anybody, but you absolutely could. The IUD is not intending on murdering anybody, but you absolutely could. You know, accident. And that's why I would say girls should go for any other option of birth control because that eliminates that risk entirely. I'm super like IUD's the worst by far.
There's two things here. So the first thing is you're basically saying that it only happens some of the time. So I don't think the potentiality for an outcome occurring changes your culpability for it if it does. A good example of this would be if I were to take out an unregistered 9mm and shoot 10 times through that door behind you, and it only had a 5% chance of killing someone on the other side, and it did, I'm going to be just as culpable for murder as someone that would do it with certainty.
But you're using an analogy that's making it so extreme on your side. A closer analogy would be driving a car because you're not intentionally shooting 10 times in a wall where there's potential for death. The car, you get in the car, you might murder somebody.
Yeah,
but
so the difference between these two scenarios is when you get in a car, you go from point A to point B. You don't get in a car to murder somebody. And then even under some scenarios, if you were to chug 3 beers, get in your car with the intention of going to the gas station, you take out a family of 5 on the way. Even though you didn't possess the intention of killing that family of 5, you're still going to be considered a murderer. But then secondarily, you get an IUD to prevent pregnancy, knowing that a purpose of it, or knowing that a function of it is to kill the zygote. And then even if you don't know it, we've already went over how intent or knowledge does not change culpability for murder.
Well, I'm not disagreeing that the IUD has the potential for that. I agree. That's why we shouldn't use IUDs.
So,
just period.
Would you say that a woman with an IUD that knows it can kill a zygote, that engages in intercourse, which leads to the consequence of the death of a zygote, should be considered a murderer?
Well, no, you're losing me entirely because I keep going back to the car thing.
Well,
this
is a very special woman.
I think are a little confusing.
So this woman has an IUD, and she knows that the IUD in her uterus will kill a zygote the next time she engages in intercourse. She engages in intercourse. It kills a zygote. Is she a murderer?
Okay, so but you're losing me. That's not like a very small percentage of these cases. So that's why I keep relating it to the car.
It's about 50-50.
Okay, well then if it's 50-50, great, change my opinion. Let's get rid of IUDs.
Okay.
So are women with IUDs murderers?
no, they should be better informed on what they're doing. Like, right, if somebody had a 9mm and they were shooting into a wall and they had no idea what's going on, you can't say that mother murder because these females.
Yeah, nice.
Well, okay,
that was
don't
bro.
know what they're doing,
I will
bro.
tell you.
Wait,
I will
but
tell you.
I wanna honestly-
You just made a step in the right direction. However, make another.
I wanna
in the
move-
same way has been historically used.
I
to
wanna
mean
move into
women,
this
So
topic,
has the
though.
term females.
Oh my god. Okay, we can't go back because
No,
there's
we're
no
not.
way we
No,
can
we're
get
not.
rid of the word
We're not.
female.
We're gonna
That's
move in.
ridiculous.
Yo, King
we gotta
Moderators
move on
here.
to
No,
next
you're
topic.
doing.
No,
I want to
last-
say that
this
was
is-
a
this
step
is-
in the right
this is-
direction.
Wait, this is an important topic because we're moving on from that. Togi came in here using terms that you wouldn't use.
Yeah.
Obviously, he comes in here like a rapper. Obviously, you see a lot of rappers use stuff like that, and you're offended by that. Would you call them out the same way you'd call Togi out?
Oh my god, for sure.
So you'd say the same thing if Future or Drake was sitting there. You'd say the same thing.
Yes.
And you think
Absolutely.
it's derogatory if it's in music, stuff like that.
Yeah, I do. But like honestly, like it's just one of those things that like
Show us your
we just
playlist.
shouldn't do.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
What do you- what do you-
have any
wait,
songs
wait,
on
wait,
there
wait,
that
wait,
say
wait,
the
wait,
N-word or call
Show us your
say
most-
bitch?
Dean,
Hey, come
no,
on.
Dean,
Come here.
Dean.
Dude.
Dean, I want to know what you think about a guy like.
Yeah.
I want to get your actual opinion on this, Dean. You ready?
Yeah.
So you come in here, you're dressed very humbly, I'm from Colorado, like a Grand Junction guy would be dressed, and you see a guy like Togi, who comes in here, 8 chains, iced out. Is it a paddock or?
Yeah, just got
Oh,
it.
for you.
Thank you.
How do you feel about that? Like a guy who's making money on the internet, he's spending his money this way. Do you have any advice for someone? Because you're making money too, but a guy that comes in here like this, who's making money on social media but spends his money this way, do you have any advice for him?
Wait, hold on. We gotta make. I just hold like this is fine. Yeah, we also got to make the point. We got to bring up because Togi did something really interesting.
What'd he do?
He put like most of his money, if not at one point all of his money, into a coin, a meme coin.
Okay, I disagree with that. I do think that's financially irresponsible, but I'm guessing off of what you're wearing right now that you were able to profit off of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just love to gamble. I think it's the most fun thing ever, and I'm so confident in my ability to make more money at any given moment. It's like, you know, we're gonna lose this money, gonna spend $1 million on jewelry, and it's like,
Well, here's my thing.
So,
whatever.
do you look at a guy like Togi who says something like that? Do you look at him as like ignorant or stupid, or do you think like what's your financial advice for a guy like this?
Okay, so financial advice or like advice about like calling women.
Or off that now,
Okay.
financial advice for a guy that's spending.
So now
how
that
many
we've
Cubans
agreed
you
that
got?
we shouldn't do that.
5
Financial
of them.
advice. Here's the thing.
5 Cubans and an ice out paddock.
Well,
and a
I
guy who
would
comes in
say
here.
it depends on where your money is. For instance, if you have $400,000 on your neck and you're paying $1,500 out to rent a single studio, $1,500 a month out to rent a single studio, maybe you should sell some of that and better invest your money. Now, if you're just big balling, you have money, you're living comfortably, and that's just where you want to spend your money because you like it and you have a comfortable life besides that, who am I the hell to tell you that you're doing something wrong? And I honestly seriously think that financial advice for cases where they are living comfortably, they have a good place to stay and they have food on their table, and you just like necklaces and watches, good for fucking you, man. I want to do it myself. You look drippy as hell.
Why don't you give him a Cuban?
Huh?
Why don't you give Dean?
But it's more fun to be 22 years old, and like I've been in situations where I gamble my net worth in one night because it's fun. Self-sabotage is fun. The slow you invest in the S&P to
I've
success.
seen this, by the way. I've
That's
seen this.
so fucking boring. Like you might like security boring for the rest of your life. Not saying it, but exciting for you, boring for me. I think everyone should do whatever the want. But I think it's much more exciting to always be on the verge of just like
Total collapse.
devastation. But then there's a ton of upside potential. It just like
I love living on the
every single day is exciting. I almost died a few months ago because I overdosed on drugs.
Oh,
It's exciting.
okay.
Not like,
Okay. Well, that's
Whoa!
but what I'm saying is, I
second.
don't
Can I-
want to do
whoa,
that
okay.
again.
Okay, listen.
But I'm saying I'm willing to push the limits so far on everything because my existence is to have enough fun and exciting just long enough so I can survive and have a family. So it's like
Togi,
a balance.
You're happy, right?
Okay. Can I?
I'm extremely happy.
Okay.
Okay.
So, okay. The OD stuff. that's incredibly negligent and shouldn't be promoted. I mean,
he's not promoting that, but you.
So
Oh no, yeah. Well, you'd also have to be an idiot to see me do that and be like, I'm trying to get on that.
I had a family member that died from an OD.
Mm-hmm.
And what if they were just trying to live an exciting life? The next thing they know, they widow their wife, leave their kids without a dad, and leave family members grieving for years.
Sounds like my life.
You've had that happen to you?
My dad killed himself when I was 6 years old. He had a gambling problem. He hung himself.
Yeah,
but
so
here's the deal. I want to cut to that because Brad can find humor in what Togi's saying.
Absolutely,
and he's gone through something.
And also,
similar.
it shaped my life. Not in all times.
I don't want to say
was it
humor,
the best
but
thing, but it made me who I am today.
Well, I mean, I feel that I have. I don't want to get too specific about like my parents and whatnot. There's a lot of experiences that I've gone through in my life that have been very, very bad, that have completely shaped me into the person that I am today.
Yeah.
I think that people really grow from negative experiences and they can have positive consequences in the long term. But I ultimately don't think that at all justifies the negative experience occurring.
Would you say that Togi's a bad example for the youth?
Well, do you want to be an example for the youth?
No, I'm an entertainer, but the idea is that I preach you should do you craft your existence, whatever you want it to be. If you want to be weirdly knowledgeable in politics, that's sick as f. If you want to do this, that's great. Personally, I'm very happy and I love my life. So to a degree, I promote the lifestyle because it makes me happy. It's not a one size fits all.
Is there any wrong in that? Because
in promoting the lifestyle, probably. I mean,
what if he lives everything that he promotes?
I mean, if a drug dealer, takes some of their own source every day, I still think it's wrong to deal drugs.
But the thing, it's not like I'm sitting here telling people this is all awesome. People saw me almost die, which is undeniably horrible, not good.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm saying I show my blood work. People see that there's consequences. I'm not talking on the other it's only
you're
good.
Living your life. You're showing how you live your life,
fast.
And you don't paint it to be something extra special. You show the real world consequences of it.
Like I said, he's an open book.
I mean, I think that to some degree, it could be a demonstration on why people shouldn't do it. But promoting it aside, putting it in front of an audience aside, because that's a whole other issue. You just doing that yourself. I wish you want to get close to OD, and that's really sad. I feel bad for you, man. That really sucks.
Yeah, no, I would never want
gambling
something like that to happen again. It's terrible.
If you're an adult, you consent and acknowledge the risks of gambling. It's legal. I don't really care. Do I think that there should be revision on the legality of some forms of gambling? Probably. But, you do what you want to do. It doesn't hurt or affect you.
Yeah, I think that we both agree that do kind of whatever you want, and we don't like what... I don't like what you do, you don't like what I do, as far as existing it. And we can agree that you should do whatever you want,
I agree.
I mean, I just advocate...
Do we agree on that?
I advocate for responsibility.
Okay,
I wish
dap
everyone
up.
would be responsible.
Quick dap up. Can we do a dap up?
It's okay.
No,
You're a long ways away.
Yeah,
Oh, you're chilling?
offended or
Oh, you
anything,
don't do that? Oh, okay.
No, I dapped him up when I came in here.
Togi, you blew me away with your intelligence, your absolute ability to debate. Thank you. I learned a lot.
I don't think there was too much debating. I didn't think other than the thing. I thought we didn't talk too much about politics, which I'm glad about. I'm kind of.
If there's any last thing you'd like to say,
I have something real quick, Togi.
Because Emily wants to come back in here and she's gonna end it. But
I appreciate you for hearing me out about why it's wrong to use slurs and stuff. I really appreciate that. And then even later in the conversation, you had corrected yourself. I don't see that a lot, so I appreciate that. Honestly, I think that's cool. And then also about the way that you live your life. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, but I think it's it would be cool if everyone in society could be more responsible. But I care more about you being more responsible insofar as not perpetuating harm to others. If you want to harm yourself with gambling.
Okay, wait. Let me give you a scenario because you're a big scenario guy.
Okay.
2 guns.
No.
sorry.
Four or five. Well, we have to actually go way further than that. 10 years from now, you walk in, and your kid's watching a Togi stream.
Yeah.
How are you reacting to that?
How old's the kid?
14.
14?
No, we'll say what? 18?
18? Why would I care?
So if
it's your own kid.
If your own kid goes in and sees Togi promoting 8 chains, gambling, all that.
18? Yeah, I wouldn't turn it. They're 18. I wouldn't turn it off, but I'd probably tell them like, hey, like, you know, it's bad.
Well, I think
Dude,
it's fair,
you're
but
responsible.
I think you're kind of more on like what's your goal with your social media? Are you trying to like spread like education or like a positive message, or like within your kids that's reasonable, but like within the public eye, like what do you do every day to like, what's your goal?
Yeah, my goal every day is to get individuals to realize that in America, there's a lot of really popular beliefs that lack substance, lack reason, lack logic, that are really harmful. And I try to achieve that goal by going into these popular beliefs that a lot of people that disagree with me hold, and I demonstrate with the use of intellectual debate on how they lack reason, on how they lack substance, and on how they lack logic. That's my goal.
I will say, I think that's
you make me laugh. I'm sorry.
a fair goal, but I've watched some of your stuff before coming here. You need to bring the intellectual community like level, like even your vocabulary is like way too ridiculous for an American. Like I think
Yes,
you're kind
I
of like,
agree.
in a sense, there's a
I should
little bit of
optimize-
ego
But, like,
when
Tony
you
and
go at
Brad-
somebody and you kind of like make them look stupid just because you are smarter than them, and then it's like really hard to like debate you when you're. That you like, I think you need to like bring it down to relate to like a person like me.
To
or
relate
an
to guys like
American.
Brad and
on
Togi.
Yeah, so
Me and you can have this conversation.
Yeah,
all the time.
absolutely. I feel like I do need to be able to.
We're gonna dumb it down
I
For
do.
me.
for you and
Not
Togi.
for you.
Bro, me and Dean could have an intellectual drop crazy.
Go ahead.
vocab.
Next time do the debate.
Okay, go ahead and
between you
address them if you want.
Next time you and him.
Yeah, I do feel
Yeah,
like
right.
I need to be able to better communicate what I want in a way that's more receptive to those that are listening. I think that everybody in the public eye, especially in this industry that I am in, should work on that, and me included. But like about like being an asshole and trying to come off really like smart and, you know, dunk on people. I think that's completely fine when the other person's a complete jackass. Like, for instance, I'm going to be honest, like Emily, for instance, like the whole, I don't know how to respond to your arguments, therefore I'm going to start spamming random
Okay, we gotta
slurs
get
with a
Emily
smile
back
on
in.
my face.
Okay,
Yeah,
wait.
like,
Let's bring her back in.
You deserve to be stigmatized. You deserve to be dunked on.
Last-
You deserve to be
wait,
laughed
Dean,
at. You deserve to be
last-
called stupid.
We got a lot to
I
get
got
to.
one question.
Moderator. Well, no, I want to get Emily in here. Togi came in here and literally
all right,
burned this, or I'm not gonna say that, but literally shut this place down. Dude, I learned so much from having you in here, and I really appreciate you.
Thanks, Steiny.
Like all I want to do now is live my life, spend my money how it makes me happy, and I really appreciate that.
Love
So,
you, Togi.
Be responsible.
Thank you,
Don't
guys.
say slurs.
You educated all of
It's
us.
better to call
Togi, thank you so
women
much.
You're the
women.
man,
Cheers.
bro.
Thank you guys
Before-
for having me.
Yeah,
it was good.
thank you.
Thanks
Togi's
for
the GOAT,
conversation,
guys.
everybody.
Streams where?
All right, cheers. Streams Kick.
Live on Kick. If you want to see
Shane
some crazy,
YouTube Shane Stouffer.
if you're out there, you're watching, you want to see some crazy Shane Stouffer Kick.
Yeah,
my
but,
dog.
like, don't gamble.
Thank you.
Don't gamble. There's a gambling hotline. Call
love
it
you,
if you
bro.
need it.
Good to see you.
It's good. Sometimes it's
Dap
It
up.
was
Give
nice
the dap
meeting you. I
up.
appreciate you for hearing me out, man.
Togi, you're the
of
GOAT.
course. You guys have a good one.
Togi, thank you.
Yo, who do you think the biggest grifter online politics is?
Ooh, good question. The biggest grifter?
Yeah.
Probably Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like she thought that like Jesus was gonna come back to Earth when the eclipse happened in America. Like she's either just like the stupidest person that has ever been voted into any public office, or just like a S tier grifter.
All right. Now we have guys. Emily's back in here.
He was saying really kind things about you.
No, I was saying really mean things about you, Emily. I'm gonna be honest.
It's crazy because I had Togi, who is I don't know his father's
He's a
position,
wild man.
but he's a wild man.
He's a
but
wild
his,
man.
He's funny.
his family is very, very powerful in China. So I will say that. I don't know if he had a wrong egg or what happened, but he is gambler, having fun. I don't know what happened there, but you kept referring, even though we had Togi in here who had
I kept referring to Emily.
You kept going at
Yeah,
I want to go
I
at
did.
Emily, and I'm wondering why. Does Emily own real estate in your head? Like, what's the deal here? You keep thinking about Emily when Togi's
Well, I
sitting there.
mean, I just wanted Emily to come back so we could finish our conversation.
Emily is far more attractive than Togi. I'm just gonna say that really quick. But if
2
they're
times in this interview, by the way. Thank you.
yeah,
You know,
you're
like-
thinking it too. You won't say it.
No, I
Who's
just
it?
Do you want to say it?
no. I'm just saying you're saucing it up a little bit. I don't know if you're gonna get dinner later or what's going on here.
Well, let's see what Dean has to say before. But yes.
I'm sorry, I just got really caught off guard.
No.
Like, yeah, I think the comment section had a very interesting reaction.
Oh, he wanted to read some, I think.
Yeah, can we actually do that?
He wanted to
Yeah,
read some.
absolutely.
First episode, real quick.
What is this on? What app?
YouTube, and then
YouTube.
also Emily,
I don't look at comment sections.
Would you like to entertain a intellectual professional debate with Dean, or are you?
Wait, I also have like questions, but like I don't want you to do your long form response. Just
I'll keep it concise if you don't use slurs. Deal?
Can we make an agreement?
for these, yes.
He has 15 seconds
these?
to
For
respond,
these,
and
yes.
you
Jesus
use
Christ,
no
you're
slurs.
such a child. You're
Okay.
such a child.
Okay, quick. You were saying how you didn't make money off any of those clips that we did, blah, blah, last time. I didn't. I think I posted 30-second ones. I go to your TikTok. They're all a minute 30, 2 minute, 3 minute. So all those do qualify for the program that makes money. And there's multiple of them. You said that there was one. I think there's 3 or 4.
One of you saying like that you're pro-slavery.
There's
Okay, well, if it's
about
over
4.
a minute, then obviously
I'm asking. So those do qualify, and they did
it was
make
a minute
money.
23. So yeah, then it was in the creator fund.
Okay, so those make money.
Okay, yeah, they do.
Okay,
And
you
what?
also said, and I sent it to you, that I was defending in our debate Hitler.
What?
Yeah.
Repeat that? Or no, literally repeat what you just said.
You said that I was praising Hitler in our last debate, maybe ideologies of him, whatever it was, and I just want to clarify what that is.
Oh, yeah, because you're like, you don't care if like a Nazi's a Nazi, let them do them. That's pretty bad. We should care if people are Nazis.
So that's me. You took that as me glorifying Hitler. Or did you say that to be inflammatory and to draw attention to yourself? Because I feel like that's kind of ironically insensitive and
you were
insane.
you were literally like W neo-Nazis. Also, can you like play the clip of me saying what you were wanting to reference here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, is it this? Let's listen to it. This one?
Which is the woman that told us she'd be okay with slavery, have been going viral all over the internet. And I thought that I'd come on here and share some of my thoughts about the filming experience and how I think things went. First and foremost, I didn't expect her to end her own career over the course of a 2-hour discussion in 4K
As you
for
did.
millions of people to see. She said that she'd be okay with the legalization of slavery. She was very sympathetic to Mustache Man and his followers.
Oh,
Yeah,
I said,
so I'm
I said, and I quote,
sympathetic
yes, you
to
absolutely,
Hitler and his followers.
You were absolutely, objectively, 110% sympathetic to Hitler and his followers when you said that you give absolutely zero f***s about Nazis being Nazis. That is absolutely sympathy towards them.
I
What
don't
we need to
recall
do,
that.
First
and
of all,
how
I
we
don't
need to
recall
respond.
that at all.
Yes,
and
no,
think,
I asked you if you'd be okay with a Nazi tattooing Nazi symbols all over their face because it's just ink, and you were like, I don't give a
I'm
shit.
okay with full-grown adults tattooing anything they want on their face and the consequences of those actions, which they have to deal with, and also most likely the tattoo parlor as well.
And then
I
you
think
also said that you're okay with like people saying whatever. Like, would you like just answer
Do you
this
mean
question?
free speech?
Would you think that it is wrong for like
No,
someone to walk
hold
up
on,
to a
hold on,
Jewish
hold on.
individual and say,
You're going-
"F you, I'm morally superior
You're
to you because I'm
you're
an
going
Aryan
places
and
you
you're
don't need to
Jewish."
go. Most of my questions, very simple answers.
So you can ask me questions, but I
She
can't.
did
ask you
talk
that.
about, wait, she talked about free speech. So go ahead with that.
Yeah, that's in free speech. But
But do you think it's wrong to say that?
Saying that I agree with Hitler and his you
No,
don't
I
think
said
you
that
don't
you were
think that's a
sympathizing
stretch
with him. I didn't
at
say that you
all.
agree. I said that you sympathize with Mustache Man and his followers, which once again you did, and I've explained how you did. It was absolutely being sympathetic towards neo-Nazi
even for me, I
ideology.
think that's, like,
when
an
you sit here and you're like,
insane
I don't care if
statement.
people are Nazis. I don't care if Nazis terrorize people. You just
I don't.
don't give
By
a
the
fuck.
way, I don't recall
do you
saying
think-
any of that.
Wait, do you care? So, for instance, in the same way that last episode you told me that you wouldn't care if you told someone to commit suicide and they did, would you care if a Nazi like told a Jewish individual that they were inferior to them because they are an Aryan
Okay,
and
once
they're
again,
not?
I'm not doing hypotheticals.
Answer the
because
question.
this
That's
is
not a
what-
hypothetical that happens every day.
No,
Would
no,
you care or
no.
would you not care?
No, no, no.
Or are you going to deny
You made
answering
a
this question the same way
no.
you've denied answering every
You're
other one
doing-
too?
Do you have a father figure in your life?
I
You
do, and
have
he's
the
great.
most-
And he voted for Trump, by the way.
You have the most toxic feminine energy. That's so crazy. The way you speak.
It's because
to me,
I'm smart. It's because I have logic,
No.
which
First
are
of all,
all
here,
things.
let me.
let's-
no,
let's-
no,
Women have a
Steiny,
higher
let
IQ
me,
on average
because
than
I
men,
need
so
to
it
go
makes
soon
sense.
because
Women get better.
I actually have
No,
a
you're
feeling
fine.
Women
Let's
get
break
better
that down,
grades in
though.
school than men, so it
What-
makes sense.
Why does he give you the feminine energy?
Yes, it's very simple. I speak to people I disagree with all the time. I work with them. It's fine, especially when they're men, especially men in my own industry. I've never had any of them, no matter how hard we disagree, ever speak like this. It's because you're young, you're clearly very emotional, but
No,
it
I
comes
was-
from
I
a
was
place
very
of very
clearly
feminine
repeating
energy
reality.
that's very weak.
Okay, I have a question.
And by
Do you
the way,
think that
your
women are more
energy is
emotional than
exactly
men?
why Trump won. The fact that you sit here and
I
tell me
deny
over
that.
and over
You
and
have no
over
evidence to
how
believe that.
dumb I am, how stupid I am.
Because you
I didn't
are.
go to college because I couldn't afford it, which is actually such a ironic.
She raises
liberal
a pretty good
elitist
point.
No,
point.
absolutely she
But
doesn't,
the way
and
you
here's
speak
exactly
to
that.
me as
I
a
don't mind
woman,
explaining it.
take all politics aside, is such a feminine, weak, disgusting thing.
Okay.
You should be
I don't
ashamed,
mind
and if you have a
responding to this.
father,
So I'm
he
gonna
should
go
be
to respond
ashamed
to
of
this.
who he
So
raised.
here's the thing.
Wait,
though. So
wait,
you're
well,
absolutely,
let's-
no, 1 second. I want to
No,
respond.
Dean, I'm the moderator, bro.
You're gonna so you're gonna let her speak, but then not let me speak.
No, I'm going to let you
can
speak, but I
speak,
want to touch on what you
absolutely-
just said. That she said that you are insulting her, you are coming at her, you have,
Yes.
and she is a female.
And I believe that it's warranted because when you sit there and you absolutely
But you're the guy that's also
unilaterally-
accepting
1 minute.
of all ideas.
I'm not accepting of all ideas. Who the hell told you that? I'm
Well,
absolutely
kinda
not
like
accepting of the idea that it's okay to tell someone to kill themselves. I'm absolutely not accepting of the idea that we should just let Nazis be Nazis and not give a single I'm absolutely not accepting of the idea that we should agree with the Confederacy and put slavery back down to the state. And here's what I think you're doing, Emily. I don't think that you have the intellectual capacities.
Oh, so once
to,
again,
one
I'm
moment,
dumb.
I don't think
Got
that
it.
you have the intellectual capacities
Yeah.
to stand in a rational conversation with me. So instead, you've decided to rage bait to the max. Absolutely.
Wait a
I'm going
minute.
to call
You
it one
wanna
moment.
talk about
No,
rage
one moment.
baiting?
One moment. I'm
You
talking.
literally
You're listening.
said,
I'll
no,
let you
no,
speak
I don't
after
give
this.
a anymore. You
you're
said
gonna
that I
moderator.
condone
No, because
Hitler
I'm
and
no,
his
no.
talking, you're
followers.
listening.
Second
I'm not
moderator,
done
step
speaking.
in.
Rage
So
baiting.
I'm
sorry.
not done speaking.
Just let him do his
Second
thing.
moderator.
You got to do it.
So earlier, it's absolutely so funny how offended you get over words because you sat there and you told me 10 seconds ago that you don't care if a Nazi slurs a Jewish person because of free speech,
Okay, so once
but then
again,
you're gonna get butthurt
that's a
because
f-
I call you
That's a
dumb.
fake thing you made up.
Crazy.
No. I'm saying your behavior as a male is embarrassing to speak to a female, regardless of politics. It's very embarrassing on your part.
Are you saying that sometimes it's wrong to use certain words?
No, because you're not
Okay,
attacking
so
my
then what's the
politics.
issue?
You're attacking me as a person. That's
So it's wrong
different.
to use words if you attack someone as a person. That's why I think it's wrong to use slurs. And when I told you that, you laughed in my face.
I think
So
it's
why shouldn't I laugh in your
insulting
face?
for what you compared me to, especially considering I have a lot of Jewish friends, and that is like absolutely insulting.
So
and
it's
I really
wrong to use words that are insulting to
But,
other people, right, Emily?
Dean, are we quoting exactly what she said? Like, are
no,
you
he's
pulling
making
out-
it up because he's
Right.
being inflammatory
Maybe,
because
maybe,
he
maybe,
needs
maybe,
to get
maybe
the
there was something
TikTok
that
views.
you think that she insinuated, but she didn't actually say. Like, I think that's important factor
she
here.
literally said that she wouldn't care if like someone had Nazi symbols on their body, and she wouldn't care if she told someone to kill themselves and they did. You don't
Those
care
are
about what people
so
do in any
different than the other points you
circumstances.
literally just
I-
made in
I said-
completely different language.
So what point did I just make that was wrong? And once again, I just want to reiterate the very like strong theme here that is absolutely like destroying this position, because when it's a word, when it's a phrase, when it's something that doesn't personally harm or insult you, you don't care. And you've made that abundantly clear in every conversation we've had until this point in history. There's absolutely no way you guys could disagree either.
I'm not going to
Throwing around
disagree
the
with that, but what I
R
am
word,
going to...
throwing around 1 second a slur for transgender individuals, this, that, and the other. Wouldn't it feel bad if you told someone to kill themselves and they
I like
did?
how you're
But
like,
as
it's
soon
a
as
slur
I
because
call
3 months
Emily
ago I decided
dumb,
to be politically
but
correct,
as soon
and
as
now
I
something's
call,
a slur.
but as soon as I call Emily dumb, it's fucking World War III, and it's the most morally
No, you can say
deplorable
whatever
thing
you
that's
want
ever
about me. I
happened.
said I think it's embarrassing as a man to sit up here and to speak to me like that.
But do you feel like
Well, I
that?
don't call you dumb because you're a woman. I call you dumb because you support
Okay, but that's
slavery.
also what we...
This is like exactly.
Okay, but wait,
you just
here's what
proved
I...
my point, but
Okay,
yeah.
let's get into this, because you haven't come at me or Bradley. You've
Well, I
only-
mean, have you told me that you're okay with slavery going back to the States? Or
This is
would
the only thing you got,
Would you feel
kid.
bad if you told someone to kill themselves and they did?
Of course I would. My father took his own life.
And you know what she
Yeah.
said last episode? Why don't you go
I
out
didn't
and tell
see
them?
it. I didn't see it. I
Why?
can't.
Well, first of all, I don't tell people to kill themselves. I get told to kill myself a million times a day, and if I did, and they did, then that sucks.
Yeah, well,
probably said it 'cause I meant it.
That if she told someone to commit suicide and they did commit suicide,
That's literally what I
she
just
wouldn't give a
said.
f- and there'd be no culpability on her part. So when
Yeah,
you ask me the question,
I get told
why
that
am I not
their
treating,
actions are not my
and when you ask me the
responsibility.
question, why am I not treating you and Brad the same way I'm treating Emily? It's because although you guys have beliefs that I absolutely disagree with 110%, you don't think that slavery should go back down to the state.
I never
And
said
I
when you
like this
do
is
hold
the
their
only
morally
thing you have
deplorable-
is this slavery thing, which is so funny because I
Well-
know you're just doing it to like get the views and clicks because like
Well, then
you
give
need
me
money,
something new.
but
Give me
it's just
substance.
So
Give me an
funny 'cause it's like
argument.
it's the only thing you keep bringing up, and I've said 9 million
Well,
times.
with all due
like,
respect,
I,
I
don't
tried
agree
to
with
ask you a
slavery,
question
so it's like,
earlier, and you literally
it's
failed
so
to answer.
exhausting.
So let's
'Cause
debate
I'm
about
tired
abortion.
of
Okay,
Let's
okay.
debate about.
dumb
What was
Let's
the
debate about
question?
taxes.
Okay, let's move on here. Okay, so let's move
Debate
on.
me on anything.
Th-
yeah,
this is-
further
this is-
proving
this
you're
is
just
where
a
I wanna
fucking
go.
grifter
All right.
and just for attention.
I've already disproven that, and I'll disprove it again. If I wanted to be a grifter and say stuff for attention and money, I would have taken the path of least resistance. I wouldn't have lost my friends. I wouldn't have lost my families. I wouldn't have been socially ostracized. I would have grifted on the right 110%. And
Wait,
the fact
the
that
right?
I didn't grift on the right,
You wouldn't be on social media. You wouldn't make money.
Of course, there's people on the right that make much more money than me. How much do you think
People
Nick
on the left make
Fuentes
a lot of
makes
money.
to justify
Yeah,
spending
I was like, can't relate because I'm not one of those.
$14,000
It's not
a
say
week
it's
on
just the
security?
right that makes money.
Or, I'm not just saying it's the right that makes
Okay.
money.
You didn't say that.
However, it's absolutely the case that if I wanted to be a grifter, I'd take the path of least resistance and go to the right, because that wouldn't socially ostracize me from half of my loved ones and half of my
least
friends.
resistance going to the right is so
I'm gonna respectfully
retarded. I can't
disagree
even.
with that.
And there we go again. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so let's move
Look
on.
stupid, stigmatize you.
Let's move on, guys. Come on. And Brad, this is partly why you're here, in case they go at it.
Okay, sorry, I didn't. I was like, I'm like, what's going on?
No,
right?
partly in case they go at it, you gotta intervene because.
Well, they're not gonna physically go at it.
Are you? Yeah, you don't think so?
No,
I would win.
no. You
If
would?
I had a pair of boxing gloves, they would both go at it. I swear to God.
No, I wouldn't punch Emily.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
What were you gonna say?
Well, I just when I hear this conversation, I'm not good here because like I don't even know the actual context of what anything was said and when it was said. I'm just hearing what he's saying. I'm hearing what she's saying. They're both saying the opposite thing.
Okay, so let's talk about this then. So Trump, last time we did this, I think it was October.
You want to hear a clip?
No, Dean, we're moving on.
Okay.
Trump
I'll check
has.
it out. I'll check it out.
Trump won. He is the president-elect. He's getting inaugurated in like 10 days or so. We all support him. Us three, I believe.
Yeah.
And what's your views? Like, are you that guy that's gonna be like, yo, this is our president, I'm gonna support him, or how do you feel about it?
Oh yeah, so Donald Trump unequivocally will be the president come the day of inauguration. You shouldn't deny the outcomes of the election, and you should accept him as your president come the day that he's sitting behind the Oval Office. In the Oval Office, from my perspective, I think it's more important now than ever for people like me to be trying to shift the American interests, educate individuals, get people to vote with more rationale, so we could avoid this outcome in the next 2 and 4 years.
Why do you think we have to avoid this outcome so bad?
Because there's a lot of negative consequences. For instance, about economics, his economic plan will end up serving as a detriment to the average American. His economic plan will end up causing inflation, isolating us from other foreign countries. His character will continue to perpetuate grape culture. Instead of rewarding rapists, we should condemn them. He was held civilly liable for the rape of E. Jean Carroll. Further yet, he's harmed to women's rights, overturned Roe v. Wade, influenced the Supreme Court to do so. Now 60 rape victims a day are denied access to abortion. He's isolating us from other foreign world leaders. He's grown closer to the leaders of Russia, such as Putin, offering Ukraine a bad peace deal, isolating us from leaders in the EU. He's going to make new houses more affordable for Americans. He doesn't even have an housing affordability
here's my quick
plan.
question. I
He's
don't mean to
bad
cut
for
you
America.
off. Yeah, obviously, you know exactly what you're talking about, but things in LA are going terribly.
Yeah.
Which is all run by the Democratic Party.
Okay, well, first
Which
of all,
can we confirm that?
Party.
Huh?
No, a party doesn't run California. People within a party do.
And they're Democrats.
Yeah, like the leadership of California is in the Democratic Party. That
And the
doesn't
mayor
change
of
what I
LA.
said, though. Like, for instance,
But
if
wait,
like
Dean,
one
you're not gonna let me
Republican, if one Republican does some crazy stupid like Emily and says that slavery should be sent back to the states,
See,
that
but
doesn't mean
that's-
that Brad the Republican thinks that.
No,
either.
but here's
figure
what.
out
But,
one other
wait, hold
thing.
on. Here's where I'm going with that. Is that you have this group of people that are doing a terrible job. There's no party that's like,
Okay.
how come we don't pin blame on them? You
Oh,
don't want to
wait.
step up and say, yo, they're doing a terrible job. Like,
Wait, I actually feel as if that was one of the first
'Cause
things
I'm
that
gonna
I
tell
said,
you-
that I think that the mayor had a massive biff, and I'm more than willing to call out everything bad that Democrats do. In fact, I think we should, because it's going to be better for the country at the end of the day. But overwhelmingly, with the 2024 election, Donald Trump was obviously the worst pick out of the two.
yeah, we are not gonna ever agree on that. So my whole
Yeah.
thing right now is that Trump is the president-elect. He will be
Yes.
inaugurated in 10 days.
God
Yes.
bless.
And in a year from now, let's say he's doing an incredible job.
Okay.
Let's assume both wars are handled. The economy's flourishing.
Yeah.
Are you going to change your opinion? Or are you going to still stand firm on
Well,
this
dude,
guy's
if Trump does good for the economy, then Trump is good for the economy. If Trump ends wars and doesn't start any new ones, Trump is anti-war. Like, the questions that you're asking me are framed in such a way where it would logically entail that conclusion. You're like basically saying, if Trump wears red shoes, then does Trump wear red shoes?
I guess what he's trying to say,
that's
though.
not my question, but
no,
That's
what
not
he's trying
at
to
all.
say is, if things are better and do become better in a lot of categories,
If he causes it
Which
to
is
become better, then of
hypothetical.
course. Yeah, if
So
Donald Trump
you'll be
causes,
supportive.
if Donald Trump causes things to be better through his policy, then I'd 110% support his policy.
Okay, and that's where I'm at too, because we obviously rolled the Obama-Trump clip, but
Like, do you think like everything is like great and has been great in America for a very long time?
No.
Who's been in most control of America for the longer period of time?
Well, since the Cold War, it's been 50-50 between Republicans and Democrats. I'm guessing what you're asking is about the last 16 years and how Democrats have held office 12 of the last 16 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you want to know about it?
he's asking if you think they've
I
done a
just
good
asked
job.
you, right? So do you think it's great? You said no. Well, who's
Yeah,
been in
no,
most
no.
of the control or the power for the last...
Okay, so like first, we have to recognize that like the power distributed to the executive branch of our government isn't like relegated to responsibility for everything that happens in the country. For instance, there's external variables that can have an impact on what happens when. Like for instance, under Trump in April of 2020, we had the highest rate of unemployment in our country in the last 100 years, 14.8%.
Bro, you're absolutely you're contradicting
Did Trump
yourself, because
cause
you're
that?
talking about how
No,
it's not only the president that has
Yeah, it's not only the president.
Unless it's Trump, then
liability,
it's
but if
everything's his fault.
Wait, and
right?
you
Well,
said
no,
what year? Wait, hold
exactly,
on.
Emily, you're precisely
Democrats
wrong.
have been in charge for the last 16 years. How many?
it's not
No, but what
16,
you
it's
just
12
said
or
is that
16.
not
12
only
out
one
of
person can be
16,
held
but
accountable.
everything's Trump's
right?
fault.
Not one person can be held accountable.
But wait, hold on a
Yes.
second.
But if it's Trump, then
No,
he's
no,
held totally accountable.
He's held
Which
accountable for the
my-
things
my
that he would do.
assumption too-
One second.
yeah.
He'd be held accountable for the bad things he does, just like any Democrat would be held
Wait,
accountable for
wait,
the bad
one
things
second,
he does.
though.
All that I'm saying is not everything that happens in the country is caused by the president, and that would also apply to Trump, where I was going about bringing up the incredibly high rate of unemployment at the end of his term, is that obviously
What year
it
was
caused
that?
by him. It was caused by the pandemic, 2020.
During the pandemic.
Yes,
yeah.
the pandemic caused it,
Right.
demonstrating how an external variable can have an impact on how something happens in our country.
Yeah.
So if you want to blame the inflation under Biden and Harris on Biden and Harris, you'd have to isolate.
No,
for these
I
external
understand
variables
it
and
doesn't
explain
work
how they
that way.
caused
I
it.
understand it takes a long time for things to shift, specifically the whole inflation thing and cost of shit. I understand that. I was just trying to just I guess articulate the idea that a lot of people have and a lot of people feel, because most people don't know all the exact intricate details of the government, how it works, and you need Congress, you need the Senate, you need this many seats to make decisions and movement. Not everyone's going to grasp that, but they are going to grasp like how it's affecting their life right now, right?
Yeah. No, I get that. And look, at the end of the day, bare bones, Kamala Harris had significantly better proposed policy than Donald Trump and had a significantly better character than Donald Trump. And for those two reasons, she was the better pick for the presidency.
We have no response to that.
I mean, there's opinions in it, and then his opinions will be, well, then do you think that a rapist is all this? And
Yeah,
but then it's
there's
like,
no winning.
where are we going with that?
So that's the problem, Dean, is that if he says Trump's a better candidate, then he thinks that you're going to bring up all of his errors or whatever history of him.
I'm allowing you an opportunity to either.
But
talk
I'm
about
just
his
saying, like,
character or
if
policy.
he agrees, I agree.
So, but I guess the thing that I don't like about all this political shit, it's always, well, they did that, and well, you did that, and then he did that, and then it's
It
like,
goes back and forth to determine who the lesser.
yeah,
of
and
evils
it's
is.
just like, well, you say this, and then, well, I'm saying that because what about that? And then there's also like the unknown of like, how many of these politicians do you think are actually just really individuals, regardless, you just didn't hear about it because it's not on, they didn't get caught, or they're not in some sort of civil case, or they're not.
Why do you think that? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, why do you think that Trump was a better pick for the presidency compared to Harris?
I'm just basing off of everything that's happened, the way my life's been, the way that I've seen happen, the way that I felt like the pandemic, all just.
It's what most Americans feel.
I think speaking on behalf of Brad is I think that people were pretty convinced that the current presidency would carry on if Kamala was.
And
elected.
it felt like nothing was getting better anyways. I can't speak to all the intricacies of policies, but I could say it's like, we're going to vote for the same party that's been in power and everyone's mad at, and not seemingly for the most part, which is why we're even in this conversation right now talking about Trump as president now, because people weren't happy. And then we were trying to be convinced to vote for the new person who's just basically an extension of the old person in the same party and the same leadership,
I would
et cetera.
say that the Biden-Harris administration over the course of the last 4 years had very good policy with a couple exceptions.
If we have closing statements, we're gonna give Emily the mic, and then Dean, and then if you want to respond, are you cool with that, moderator?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we're running.
No, what do you? What?
No, if you just have any closing arguments against Dean.
I'm just
obviously,
tired. I
this
wanna
has
go
been a
eat.
very
This is
podcast.
this is where I'm in bed.
Okay.
It's
Do you have
that-
any last words you'd like
Rebuttal any I
about,
want to give you an
I'm
open
just,
opportunity to rebuttal anything that I've said with like actual
Well, because it's like
reason,
I have my
not
opinions
rhetoric.
on you, you have your opinions on me. I mean, it's just very like, congrats, you've got your niche. It's this like autistic, I can memorize everything and I think I'm smarter and better than you.
Okay,
I
well,
don't
that's-
find that
yeah.
impressive. I think anyone
Yeah,
can
this
sit
is
around
rhetoric.
and Google
I'm asking you
and
for an argument against something I believe
no.
in.
This
not
is my
baseless
closing.
rhetoric.
This is my closing statement.
closing statement.
So you
So
don't have
congrats.
arguments.
You'll go next. You'll go next.
Yeah, congrats. You've done that. I think you're 100% grifter. It's very cringe. I think, I disagree with everything you say. I don't think it's right. And I also think your attitude, especially your attitude towards me, which is ironically extremely elitist of you to constantly attack like, oh, my education, oh, you're dumb. This is what most Americans were sick of. We were sick of being told by people we're dumb, useless, redneck idiots. And I think it's wrong. I'm very popular because I have very common sense opinions, and I'm sorry I couldn't go to college. I couldn't afford it, and it wasn't an option. But I'm very proud of myself where I am, and I'm very happy. It's also why I don't have to sit on the internet and debate people for 9 hours a day, because outside of politics, which I would say is actually where all the negativity in my life comes from, I actually have a very good life, and I'm very happy, and I'm proud of what I do. I just think it's just all a game.
Well, thank you, Emily. We really
I appreciate you for your closing statement. I guess there's a couple of things
You have
that
a
I could
minute.
say as well.
Yeah,
You have
Jesus
1 minute.
Christ,
Well,
please.
she had more than a minute.
Keep just.
Okay, 2 minutes.
All right.
Also,
Okay.
your whole thing with abortion is just weird. As a dude,
Okay,
it's
we're not
crazy.
going back
Oh, no,
down
you
that
can't
road.
go back.
No.
No, I don't want to go back. It's
2 minute
weird as a
closing
dude
argument.
to sit here and talk about abortion as much as you do. It's so fucking weird. And I've switched my stance on that. I'm pro-life now. I disagree with your statistics, and especially all the rape ones as well.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, I guess I'll respond from the last statements.
And I have to go, so you have 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
Oh,
She has to
you
go.
won't listen to what I'm going to say anyways.
Go ahead.
I'm not
Anyway.
listening either way, if I'm being honest.
I am starting.
But you want the clip, so go.
So you're still talking. Are you done? Thank you.
She's done.
So going last to
seconds
first.
now.
So first of all, I mean, if you think it's weird for guys to be talking about abortions, don't understand why you'd vote for pro-life legislation, because it implies that guys won't just be talking about abortions, but they'll be making legislation on it. Secondarily, I asked you to review any position that I hold to be the case with reason and logic, and you gave a long-winded 2-minute response about how you think I'm autistic and I memorize and how I'm elitist because I think that you're weird and dumb. And like at the end of the day, I think that this perfectly resembles the quote-unquote common sense of the right. The common sense of the right, you and a lot of people like you, has nothing to do with sense, has nothing to do with reason, has nothing to do with logic, has all to do with your emotions and how you hold them to such a high pedestal to dictate what should happen to others. And it makes no goddamn sense. Like, for instance, you have put the pedal to the metal on me so many times about how it's okay to say anything you want. Words are just words. Be pro-slavery. Let them do the
Your words, not
tattoos
mine.
and the yada yada yada. But as soon as I call you dumb,
You called me
talk
Hitler.
about it for 45 minutes straight. And ultimately, there's so many other hypocritical statements, such as that one, that have been evidently clear in every word that's come out of your mouth. And I really hope that America is able to direct itself in a direction where we can leave people like you in the past that don't think slavery should be left up to the states, that don't literally have like dreams at night about how happy they are to scream slurs on the internet because it pisses the liberals off.
Your words,
That
not
actually
mine.
want to focus on a future where America is able to work together with the use of fact, reason, and logic to yield a higher level of quality of life
this is why your
for
brother kicked you
humanity.
out.
You just okay, Dean, that was great. Emily, that was great. You just spoke on the future of America. There's only one way to end this. Dap up.
No, I would never
Dap
dap.
up,
I would
dap
never.
up.
Come on.
I would never.
No, remember,
do it.
and you lied about dinner last time. You're like, I have plans. He called you out. You know.
No, he always lies about
I
dinner.
only
Don't
have
No,
ever
he
do this.
lied.
Oh, he did.
Because he can't sit off camera.
want-
He can't sit in a room with me.
I want a handshake really quick because
No,
we
I-
saw Obama and
I-
Trump. They can do
I
it.
think
You
that
guys
the
can do it.
lack
And I
of a
think
handshake
unification is.
I think that a lack of a handshake between me and Emily is incredibly symbolic to the necessity
So
for
gay.
leaving the shit in the past.
Okay.
All
You
right.
deserve to be stigmatized. You
All right,
deserve to be
guys.
stigmatized. Go.
Emily has to go. Emily, thank you so much for coming. You're amazing. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We appreciate you. That's gonna wrap it up.
That's it.
You're
Thanks for
tune
having
in
me.
for part 3.
That was
Brad, how do you
fiery.
feel?
That was a lot, dude.
It's crazy, right?
gotta- you know, I
when you
gotta do a
sit
little-
here and you watch them go at it, like people are coming at me, bro. When you see that go on,
I need to do.
It's a very
I
hard-
need to do a little bit more research.
but it's a
I'm
hard.
gonna come prepared next time.
Can you admit that the moderator position is not easy?
No, it's not easy.
Hard.
Fun though.
It's fun, yeah.
Wow. Okay. There's a couple things that I learned today. First of all, I don't think that like conversations were as productive as they could have been. I actually really did appreciate the other guy that came in though, for like actually hearing me out. And then he had once again even like corrected himself from saying something after I explained how it was wrong. I actually really appreciated off of that dude. But Emily, she's not a debater. She can't
Let's make
debate.
that clear though. Like, you're an expert debater. She doesn't debate.
Well, I mean, it's literally a battle of the wits at the end of the day, and she thinks she has the wits, so she should be able to maintain a good conversation, but she can't. The point is that was an unproductive mess that I don't think I'll do again. You know, I really came in here today with an expectation of like, well, maybe she could try her best to give an argument, but instead she bows and he starts throwing slurs to piss me off. It's just like, oh, dear God, it's not worth my time.
Are you upset that you came here?
No, I'm not upset that I came here because ultimately I came here under like certain calculus that maybe I will yield an efficacious conversation with her and we'll be able to get somewhere. I thought that it was a potentiality and the future's never certain. I'm not upset that I came here because the future's never certain and I thought that it was possible. However, like in retrospect, like it obviously like wasn't a productive conversation. Like maybe I'm hoping that like the viewer at home on YouTube right now can like understand that we need to get away from that a little bit more after that demonstration.
Sure.
Which will drive my point home further for the average American, which is a good thing. So
I think we learned a lot from both sides. Obviously, you guys don't see eye to eye. You're a very intellectual, smart guy. Brad, you were a dog second moderator.
How was I a dog shit second moderator?
You knocked your mic off like four times, bro. Then you give all me the
set
heat.
Up like Jimmy rigged over here, bro.
No, but Dean, I
holding this shit
appreciate you. Thank you for coming. Brad, thank you for coming.
Absolutely, man.
We're gonna wrap this
make
up.
sure my house don't burn. Straight up.
yeah, bro.
Like not even kidding.
You're more than welcome to stay with me anytime you want.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Good to meet you too, by the way.
Part
man.
3
This
coming
is, like,
soon, baby.
awkward. Very good to meet you.
Part 3 coming soon.
Choose well, bad.
All right, good.
Yeah.